From illegal chess formations to a way to become invincible forever! These are 697 secret Minecraft things Mojang doesn't want you to know. This lava doesn't hurt me at all! That's because it's a lava spawner and not actual lava. It acts as a solid block, but can be built upon, doesn't set anything on fire, and doesn't emit any light. The purpose of it was to generate lava all around it. It would create real lava blocks over time that would act like normal lava. So technically you could build a wooden house on it, but it wouldn't last long. Some of Minecraft's great mysteries were lost in patches too. In Java Edition 1.2.1, Sandstone had 2 extra textures that could be generated, creating cryptic patterns. This diamond with eyes peeking out and this set of 4 symbols, a creeper face, Steve, an eye, and a block or slab. What were the meanings behind this strange display? I'll dedicate my life to finding out. Nah, I'm bored. Let's go fight a dragon. Bow charge animations are straight up boring! Mojang should have done something similar to this bow charger pack instead. This changes the color of the bow as it begins to charge from red to green once fully charged. Nothing hits harder than losing a bow contest to a skeleton. One of the most annoying things is this disgusting overlay once you put on a pumpkin. Luckily for us though, we can fix this easily by using this no pumpkin overlay. With that overlay gone, you can finally see! It's like wearing glasses all over again. Borderless glass is something that we would never have to download. Just look at the difference with and without this pack. It's crazy. The best part is that you don't even need Optifine to run this. Finally, my OCD is fixed. What do you think of when I say degrading tools? No, we aren't going to be yelling at them. This pack makes tools lose parts of their UI models as you use them. This works even for something like the flint and steel. It's a small change, but makes a world of difference. I'm bouncing on a real working trampoline. It's standing on wooden fence posts, has a ladder up to the bouncy slime blocks covered with carpet, and surrounded in colorful blocks for a frame. The net around the trampoline is made using chains and rods to create structure just like a real trampoline. Now, check how high I could jump! This is the smallest Minecraft house with everything you could need. The walls are trapdoors, there's a furnace and crafting table in the ground, and a bed on top of them. 2 blocks deep, you put some water with a single block farm on top. There's a chest in the ground and a loom beside that. With trapdoors on top, you have a single block of space to crawl around in and access everything. No, my entire home is gone! Endermen are even more terrifying than they look. When they get angry, they shake wild with fury. They're so mad that even if you pause the game, they won't stop. They can't get closer to you, but they'll stare you down, continuing to shake with unstoppable rage. Please, I just wanted you to stop stealing my dirt! Did you know you can create a ghost train on ghost rails? When you have a block with a rail on it and have another piston push the rails themselves in another direction, the rail item pops, but the rails themselves stay in the world. They even work as rails, but they'll disappear the moment you load back into the game, almost as if they were never there at all. It's a literal ghost train! Want a ticket? It's raining in the desert! If there's a river nearby, the game can't identify the difference between a riverbank and a desert. The rain will stop the moment it hits another biome like a savanna. So the sand will get wet and the grass will get nothing! I love connecting my treehouse to other trees in Minecraft. However, I have never found a good way to make these authentic-looking rope bridges. Until now! If you use acacia slabs and lightning rods, you can create this unique bridge design that even matches the area you are in. Just make sure you don't fall through the... Sharks were almost added to Minecraft, and even to this day I wish they were. However, did you know that you can actually have jellyfish in your exotic fish aquarium? Simply use a pink glass block and a hanging root underneath it to give you this amazing jellyfish for your own personal aquarium. Sometimes people want to have some fun and sell some items to their friends on a server, and this next build hack really lets you have that amazing Japanese-inspired design. This ramen stand uses armor stands underground to create these truly authentic seats. I just love this design. As far as seating goes in Minecraft, there really is not many options. However, this seat completely breaks the rules. By using blocks like slabs, stairs, iron trapdoors, and a minecart, you can make this amazing modern chair design. And the best part is, it actually works. Speaking of enchantment, it's a mistake not to get the mending enchantment first. If you get other enchantments first and leave mending too late, you could break that item accidentally or get that too expensive message, stopping you from enchanting it at all. Nether gold can be really useful in getting gold for the piglins, but it's a mistake to mine it normally because all you get are nuggets. Use a silk touch pickaxe and smelt the ore in a furnace, and you'll get a whole ingot instead, which you can trade to the piglins directly. Burning a lot of coal in your furnace? Don't just put a big stack of coal in the furnace. Combine 9 coal into a block and use that in the furnace. It actually burns longer than 9 coal on their own. Everyone knows the easiest way to break a server is to get admin and then ban everyone or turn the server off. But this is boring. Instead, why not try and be a bit more creative if you get a hold of admin? When you get your hands on these powers, give yourself a command block. Then you want to set it to repeat mode and then run the command /execute at E run summon pig, which will spawn countless pigs on your friends, leading to one of the most buggy and server-destroying bacon farms ever found in Minecraft. It does taste delicious though. Quick, where'd you get slime balls from? If you said slimes, that's boring. The real answer is pandas. Or more specifically, baby pandas have a 1 in 6,000 chance of sneezing every tick which randomly drops a slime ball. But Mojang decided to pay attention to the weirdest details, since sick baby pandas actually have a larger 1 in 500 chance of sneezing up a slime ball. Look at this absolutely incredible lava ravine. Mallow, why is it this ending? Well, hold on and let me explain. This seed you see is caused by some weird world regeneration bug in Bedrock Edition. What's crazier is that it's not only the lava. Everything in this world repeats from lakes, oceans, grass, trees, and even blocks. This seed is so rare that there are only 2 of these in existence. Imagine a mob in Minecraft that was larger than the Ender Dragon, Wither, and the Warden combined. Well, this is the whale, a huge behemoth of a mob that would have just added some diversity to the deep oceans. This would have been a really cool addition for the oceans, as it would have given them a bit more exploration, similar to games like Subnautica. However, I can understand Mojang not wanting to teach kids to hunt whales. Armadillos are a cool addition to Minecraft and all, but honestly, I wanted the penguin. The penguin would have been another mob that could have been found in ice-related biomes, which at the moment only have one mob, being the polar bear. I just think the penguin would have been a far better addition for diversifying the game, as opposed to the armadillo. Plus, Dark Armor is a stupid addition. You can't stop me! This next mob has technically been in the game for years now, but never in survival mode. The giant has been a feature in Minecraft for ages, but it was never given any AI or spawning capabilities outside of using console commands. Imagine adding the giant in full to the game. How cool would that be? TNT is incredibly identifiable, so I wanted to prank my friends with this bomb build hack. By using one of the newest blocks in Minecraft, the pot, and a candle, you can make this realistic looking bomb. But thankfully, this isn't actually explosive. Only noobs use ladders to climb. Real pros use honey blocks instead. If you place water between honey blocks like this, you can climb up much faster than any ladder. Honey block 1, ladder 0. Are you tired of dealing with TNT at the bottom of desert temples? Well, you're missing out on how useful it actually is. By being sneaky enough and avoiding the pressure plate, you can dig straight down to the TNT and make it blow up. This instantly breaks all the chests and saves you tons of precious time. If you're tired of X-rayers stealing items, you'll love this one. When placing down a chest, surround it with a low-tier ore like coal. This makes it so that anyone who wants to grief you is never gonna find your treasures. The biggest problem with boats is that they are incredibly slow. That's why I use dolphins. Wait, let me explain. Usually, boats can only cover a few blocks per second at most. But by using a lead to attach yourself to a dolphin, you can cover nearly 40 blocks a second. This is a huge help in locating ocean monuments and shipwrecks, since you don't have to deal with the barely see-through water surface. Not only that, you can now become an Olympic dolphin rider too. Everyone knows that you need a pickaxe to mine blocks like stone and obsidian. And this is also the case for all the blocks that can be crafted by using these blocks. Well, not exactly. Since the Bedrock Edition, you can actually mine a furnace and an enchantment table without a pickaxe. You literally just need to punch it with your fist. Ow, my hand! I need a doctor. Sometimes you just want to watch the world burn, and the best way to do that is by messing with the villagers. You wait for them to go to sleep, and then you start to mess with their village and them. However, did you know that these villagers are tougher than they may look? Since in Bedrock Edition, dropping an anvil on a villager's head while they sleep will do no damage. So you should really think twice before you try to troll these land-dwelling Squidwards. Try escaping these impossible endless stairs. I've been running for 4 hours and I'm still going up. This illegal illusion was first made by MC Escher, and the trick is perspective. The stairs aren't connected at all, so don't try walking these stairs or you'll fall right off! The flat ground is coming to get me! Look down from above and move away from it, and you'll see the hypnotic way these boxes of black and white create a weird and warped illusion. The flat ground tricks your brain that it's rising up as a hill. It tricks you into anything, and next thing you know, you're attacking your friend's pet dogs. Oh god, what have I done? Just kidding, I enjoyed that. What could be more impossible than true circles in Minecraft? Thin black and white lines on the outside and thicker ones closer to the center causes a strange visual confusion. From above, the patterned floor makes you think you're actually looking at a perfect circle in the center. The circle breaks the very rules of Minecraft's whole reality. Don't tell Mojang. I don't want to be banned. Numbers are easy to make in Minecraft. Even my grandma could do it. But I bet she couldn't make a number do this. Smart placement of blocks can make a shape change depending on where you stand. This one even changes whole words into something completely different. Eat it, Grandma! I'm better at Minecraft than you! I'm kidding. I'm sorry, Grandma. I didn't mean it. Don't hurt me. This spinning fan is actually not moving at all. It's a single still image made of spaced out black lines. And the spaced out bars in front of it only show some, while hiding the others. As the bars move, other lines are shown, creating an animation that looks like it's a spinning fan. It's an actual working cartoon in Minecraft. Take that, Disney! Hi! Can you see the illusion in these 3D letters? The illusion is that they're not 3D at all. It's flat. It's a trick of color where shading objects with a darker color makes it look like light isn't hitting it. It makes your brain think those darker parts are further back, blocked from the sun by the letters. It's an illusion of shape that can work on any image at all. That's how I trick my brain into thinking my girlfriend is real. Mojang missed out on one of the best jokes of the century by not making suspicious sand sus. Additionally, since this pack gives sus blocks such a unique texture, it's impossible to miss them, unless there's an imposter. If you haven't used Zali's potions yet, you're missing out on one of the greatest textures of all time. This gives every kind of potion its own unique texture, and also works for both lingering and splash potions. Mojang, you need to take notes. You might have heard of Faithful, but have you ever used Kingdoms? This is one of the craziest texture packs to ever exist, as it completely overhauls the game to a medieval fantasy version of Minecraft. From the UI to the animals to even the nether, the creators of this pack have missed nothing. Hell, take a look at the Striders and I guarantee you won't be sleeping for a few days. This is a must try. Being stuck in a cave without any torches is one of the worst places a player can find themselves in, but this rejected miner's helmet would have brought an end to that. This helmet was intended to have a torch on top of it that would light the way as you explored the caves. But why was this rejected? Well, probably because it would require dynamic lighting, similar to how Optifine does lighting and torches. But who knows? Maybe one day we will see this helmet again. Minecraft skins are kinda pointless. You can't see your own skin in first person, leading to most single players just never setting a skin. Obviously, you have access to F5, but what would Minecraft have looked like if our next rejected idea got into the game? Mirrors. Imagine the builds people would have made using mirror mazes, huge reflective art, and so much more. This one is a real shame. I just want to stare at myself all day. I hate having to take my bed everywhere in Minecraft. I could be planning a huge adventure to find a hidden treasure, and I'd have to pack all the essentials. My tools, some food, and an entire queen-size bed. It just feels wrong, and I now see why. There was a rejected Minecraft idea that was always intended to take over for beds in this style. The sleeping bag. The sleeping bag would have been more like a portable bed, but then Mojang realized there was not much point in adding this to the game when people could just make another bed. Would you believe me if I told you Minecraft came out 17 years before its release in 2011? I'm talking about Minecraft 3D that was released April 1st, 1994. If you haven't figured it out already, this was an April Fool's joke by Mojang, but I have to say, it looks amazing! Did you know it's possible to burn yourself to death underwater? I don't know why you'd want to do this, but just place a cauldron filled with lava and sit inside.
Mallow, how did you even find out about this?
Hey, listen here. Stop asking so many questions. Nether stars are incredibly important for crafting beacons, but there's something about these objects that you never knew. These are in fact explosion-proof, and this makes sense because they need to survive the wither's death. But that's not the best part. They are still not immune to lava, cacti, and anvils. Wait, hold up! A nether star can survive TNT, but not my diamonds? Minecraft has had a massive run of bugs and items that should never have existed. But there was one that was far more insane than anything you'll ever see. And since you're obviously building a sick castle if you make this, you can make awesome ornate carpets using a combination of shulker boxes and glazed terracotta. Hey, I don't want to hear anything about how expensive shulkers are. You own a castle! As long as the colors are similar, it really doesn't matter how you lay out carpet. It'll look cool either way. You can use these fire arrows to light TNT, but what else does this work with? Eggs are projectiles. Do they work? Oh yeah, they do. Snowballs would just melt, wouldn't they? Nope, that works too. Okay, there's no way the fishing rod works too. It does? That's insane! Oh no. Have you ever been to the cinema and had your eardrums blown out by the super loud noise? Well, legend has it this was actually added to Minecraft. If you find a 2% screaming goat, it has a 1 in 4 chance of dropping the call horn, and when you blow it, I'll say that's confirmed. You can make a door with end rods that mobs can't get through. This one's weird because the end rods are thin enough for us to walk through. So why wouldn't mobs be able to? Oh, I guess it works. That's strange. Maybe they see them as full blocks like they do with trapdoors? Grindstones remove the enchants from items, so surely it makes sense for it to do the same for a nutshell ball, right? Oh, I guess not. Why would you even want to do that? Wait, what if I put an enchantment on it with an anvil and then put it in the grindstone after? There we go. I'll call that one a maybe. Dirt and grass blocks appear to be basically the same, but something you might not have noticed is that grass blocks actually take a tiny bit longer to mine than dirt blocks. The same is also true for stone and cobblestone. Even though they seem to be the same thing, cobblestone takes just a little more time to mine. Bet you didn't know that. You can actually equip villagers with armor by shooting it onto them with a dispenser. You won't see the armor appear on the villager, but they'll get all the effects from it, including not just increased defense, but all the enchantments as well. And if you're super rich, try building this design with iron bars, cobwebs, and magic potion dispensers below the ground. If you rig this tripwire up to shoot damage potions, it'll really send a message to robbers. And it's a cool piece of decoration too. A great way to protect your base from both mobs and players is to hide pufferfish underground around your base. Moss carpets are a super easy way to sneak them into your decoration, and waterlogging even allows you to hide them in bushes and trees. Ow! Oh god, I'm getting flashbacks! If you're feeling really mean though, the best way to deal with thieves isn't to kill them, but trap them permanently. Using a simple piston trap, you can force a player into a bubble elevator like this, surrounded in obsidian. Due to the bubbles pushing them around, it'll be almost impossible to mine it even with a pickaxe. Now it's on to the bosses. The Wither is by far the easiest one to take out as it has a huge weakness. The Wither actually dies in under 20 hits to a Smite V sword on hard mode. So as long as you build a long tunnel like this and spawn at the end of it, you'll be able to take it down in under a minute. The Warden is actually just as easy to trick as the Wither. The Warden is attracted to any sound regardless of what it is, but because no mobs spawn in the deep dark, you're usually the only thing making noise. However, if you do something as simple as making a redstone clock attached to a bell or note block, the Warden will be totally distracted and let you loot as much as you want to. If they have an auto smelter, a simple yet wicked trick is a little sabotage. Plug up the works by putting dirt in the furnaces. They can't smelt it, so they'll be stuck here until your friend cleans them out by hand. String tripwire can block bamboo and sugarcane from growing, and is invisible. Use it in this wicked trick. Put it on your friends' farms and see how long it takes them to notice that bamboo just isn't growing at all. An even better trick to play on AFK friends is to build a whole portal around them. It'll send them to the nether, and once you break the portals on either side, they'll be crying out, wondering how they even got here. Did your friend live near a village? Play a fun little trick by putting name tags on all the villagers. Name them with taunts and jokes about your friend, and watch them wonder why all the villagers are so mean. Want to trick your friend who just got a brand new set of netherite tools? Enchanted stone tools look a lot like the netherite set, so why not get some efficiency 1 stone equipment and swap them over? They won't need the netherite ones, right? Need a truly secret entrance? This hack lets you use a composter as a trapdoor. If you drop an item here, it falls into a hopper minecart, which activates a mechanism and drops you underground, allowing you out into your secret base. Having a villager at home is old news. This hack lets you have a totally tame pillager. Just trap one in a boat and row it back home. He'll be shooting the whole time, but he won't hit you, and will eventually break his crossbow, making him totally harmless. This one is my butler. I call him Barry Halls. This milk is special. It was milked from a squid. That's because back in beta 1.2, squid could be milked just like cows. It was later taken out of the game, but modders all over the world have been desperately trying to put it back into the game. This mound of snow holds a secret. It's actually an igloo, and exactly 50% of the time there's a secret trapdoor underneath, leading to a golden apple, a zombie villager, and a regular villager. If you cure the zombie villager, you've got yourself the makings of a brand new village. Invisibility is amazing, but it's not perfect. Wearing armor makes you more visible, but even without nothing on at all, bats and cats can see you clear as day. So if you see some bats freaking out about nothing, it might be another player sneaking up on you. It's super gross, but this baby panda can make a slime ball. All you have to do is wait for it to sneeze, and the gooey snot has a chance of coming out as a full slime ball ready to be used. Minecraft's biggest problem is that the Ender Dragon doesn't look like a dragon at all. So we're gonna be fixing that with Ender Dragon Revamped. This texture pack transforms him from a harmless lizard to an actual terrifying dragon. Combine this with these enhanced boss bars, and your pants are gonna be going from blue to brown real quick. Someone help! There's hot singles in my area! If you want to have the same problem as me, this pack allows you to change that awful, boring message as you go to bed.
You can't sleep yet. There are monsters nearby.
Get out of here! Looking at the textures for crops and flowers makes me want to throw up. I mean, why even use sprites and 2D models in 2024? Instead, Mojang should have taken a page out of 3D Tomatoes' book. Not only does this pack use much better models, you can even see the tomatoes at each stage of their growth. Imagine having the power to summon open portals with a single button. No, this wasn't a mod. It was a real ability in Java Edition Alpha 1.2.2a. Players could spawn nether portals just by pressing F4. This was removed in the very next build, but for a fleeting moment, you could step into hell with a single button. Just make sure you don't press it by accident. This zombie piglin flesh is delicious! Oh, don't worry, I won't get sick, because before beta 1.8, zombie pigmen would drop delicious pork chops that were already cooked. Oh wait, that was zombie pigmen. This is a piglin. Oh, it hurts. But it's so good! Could you imagine villagers being even more helpless? Well, be grateful if you never experienced their early version in beta 1.9 pre-1. They couldn't open doors, didn't run and hide, couldn't become a zombie, but instead just died. And most awful of all, they couldn't make their classic trademark what a pathetic existence. Oh, sorry, is that like your granddad or something? Hey, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it! Make sea mines to protect yourself from the drown. Just use a waxed copper block, lightning rods, and a chain to the sea floor, and your mine is complete. They don't actually work though, so maybe I should have brought a sword. Have you ever run away from an army of mobs and gotten completely lost? These handy signs can point you right where you need to go. They're made using a picture frame with stairs held in it. You turn the stairs to point where you need it, then put a sign on top and right where the sign is pointing. This doesn't help me though, because I don't know where I am! Have you noticed that different servers will have different amounts of mobs roaming around for seemingly no reason? That's because mob spawn rates are based on how many chunks are rendered by the server, which can heavily fluctuate depending on how good the server is. Luckily, my server is terrible! I can barely see any chunks at all, though this does mean I can't walk far before losing sight of my house, and I think I'm lost. Hello? This crazy glitch made me fall into my own inventory. This is caused by opening the inventory when you're not standing or swimming. If you're flying with an elytra, open it. The character might twist and turn in ways the game never anticipated in order to look at the cursor. You can bend all over the place. It's like shoving your whole head into your own pockets. Oh, I forgot I had cake in here. Did you know sand wasn't supposed to hang in the air waiting to drop on your head? That was originally a world generation bug, which becomes obvious when you touch it and it all comes crashing down. Mojang couldn't be bothered to fix this, however, and now getting suffocated out of absolutely nowhere is an everyday occurrence. Please don't be gravel. Please don't be... Oh, I give up. One thing that Minecraft is very bad for is storage solutions. The only real storage options are chests, barrels, and throwing stuff onto the floor and hoping you sort out your inventory quick enough so it does not despawn. However, these rule-breaking storage solutions can make your home look far better. If you place campfires into a cupboard of trapdoors, you can make this meat-drying cupboard. Certainly an interesting take on a kitchen accessory you didn't know you needed. I'm a bit bored of my bed. I think I want to get a bunk bed. And thanks to this building hack, I can create a bunk bed that finally lets me achieve my dream of having a bunk bed, but I have no one to share it with. Not every person wants to live in a house on land. Some people want to live on a boat, and this building hack lets you have all of your necessities on one small boat. Time to sail the 7 seas! See you later. Unfortunately, there is no good couch within Minecraft unless you use mods. However, you can actually create the illusion of there being pillows on your couch. If you break the blocks out from underneath the couch and put armor stands with dyed leather helmets, you can create these really cool pillows for your couch and really bring the house to life. They are not very comfy though. So many people make this simple mistake. Stop making low ceilings! Even when mining, a 2-block tall staircase tunnel is a recipe for bonked heads whenever you go up or down. Also, doesn't a high ceiling look so much nicer in your house? Who doesn't love farming? But a big mistake people make is to stick a single block of water and surround it in veg. That water can only feed so many plants. So instead, set the water and vegetables in rows, and your plants will actually grow faster. Minecraft players all over the world use this incredibly slow method of getting around. People love using bubble columns to zip up to some high tower, but getting down, they use another water shaft. Why waste the time when you can make a shaft, leave it empty, and just have a block of snow or water at the bottom to break your fall? Who doesn't want a rocket launcher? This would easily be both one of the best and also one of the least likely features to ever come to the game. Thankfully, the level of coding in Minecraft commands is so good that you can make a rocket launcher in Minecraft. By running this command, you can turn this boring old crossbow into a literal bazooka. This makes running around and shooting your friends with a crossbow way more interesting. We all have that one friend in Minecraft who never wants to PvP and instead just wants to make a giant farm. Boring! Well, if you have had enough of this, friend, then you should try this technique to not only ruin your friend's farm, but also potentially crash the Minecraft server. By building a huge platform in the sky, you can spawn loads of mobs. When you then break this platform, all the mobs will fall to the ground, causing both the wheat and seeds to pop up into the air, which causes an immense amount of lag. If your friend's farm is big enough, then you will be able to destroy all of his crops. Do you love armor trims but can't find them no matter how much you try? Well, I've got you covered. The moment you spawn into this seed, you'll see a woodland mansion where you can find the Vex armor trims. But go below the ground and you'll find this gigantic ancient city where you have a 1.2% chance to find the silence armor trims. It gets even better though, because if you enter the nether directly from your spawn, you'll find 2 bastion remnants. How does this world even exist? The killer bunny is almost as historical as Herobrine, but only a few people know how rare this actually was. Initially, Jeb had set its spawn rate to 1 out of 1,000, but he decided this was far too common and changed it to 1 out of 2,500, instead making it super rare. Unfortunately, Jeb removed this, saying it's an overdone joke and a random death event. What does he mean? This fellow is so cute. No, stop! What's better than a normal mushroom? A brown mushroom! This is an almost impossible to see variant that is found only when a normal mushroom is struck by lightning. That means the chances of this spawning is 1 in 1,024. However, they aren't just novelty. You can use a bowl to milk them and get a suspicious stew? I wonder what this does. Let's be honest, the mob vote is not great nowadays. Sure, back in 2016 it seemed cool, but now just about everyone is upset that their favorite mob did not get added. And because of this, these are the mobs we will never get to see in Minecraft. Meerkats, ostriches, vultures, moo blooms, iceologers, glares, copper golems, rascals, tough golems. All of these would have been amazing additions to the game, but Mojang can only add 1. Rest in peace, mob vote losers. Blazes have become a really easy mob to defeat since the addition of shields. Shields made blazes weak against your defenses. However, all the way back before mob votes even existed, we would meet Mob D. Yes, that is the only name it ever got. Mob D would have been very similar to a blaze, but with shields surrounding it to make it just a little bit more challenging than regular blazes. This would have not only made the game more challenging, but diversified the nether mob ecosystem a bit better than it currently is. Minecraft's newest update, the Trails and Tales update, is yet to come out as of the time of writing. However, they missed such a huge opportunity to add these next mobs into the game. Let's start with the Key Golem, a small passive mob that you could have protected throughout your trial in order to unlock the door at the end. Next up is the Redstone Monstrosity, a truly terrifying boss that could have given the trial chambers a unique boss to battle against. And finally, the Squall Golem, a mob that would have been challenging to defeat, but could have dropped some really useful items for your trial. If only Mojang added the Minecraft Dungeons mob to Minecraft, the game would be so much better. Have you ever wanted a super secret base that is incredibly cheap to build but also hard to find? Well then, look no further than this secret tree base. All you need for this kind of base is a tall oak tree. Simply break into the leaves but do not break the logs. Hollow it out and then boom! You have a secret base to hide from all of your friends. Sometimes you want to design a wall for a valuable looking cave, but you just do not have the resources to do this. Well, why don't you try using these blocks to make the walls? These gold ores will all require silk touch or finding in the nether, but you can make this really cool design incorporating blocks from every dimension in Minecraft. Besides the end, please Mojang, give us ender gold ore. With the recent addition of hanging signs, we also got an awesome new design for walls in Minecraft. Simply by matching the sign to the stripped wood it comes from, you can create these really beautiful walls that you can also shoot through and place paintings on to hide your base. Wait, look, here comes a pig! He's gonna have no idea what hit him. Sometimes defending your base can be a real pain, but with this wall design, you can defend your base from enemies while also having a nice looking wall design. And the best part is, you can use any fence, walls, and gates for this, meaning you can tailor this design to match any build you may have. The way dripstone is generated in Minecraft is kind of boring. It does not feel very intimidating whenever you come across one of these pointed dripstones, and that is why you should change the way they look with this build idea. Simply place some other blocks around the dripstone on the roof, and then you have a far better looking dripstone cave. Maybe we even place some water above the dripstone to have a nice dripping water effect. It is a massive misconception that crops need to be in direct contact with water to grow well. In reality, a water source can allow crops within 4 blocks of it to grow. This means with just 1 block of water, you can grow 16 crops. Respawn anchors are one of the most useful items that have been added to Minecraft. There's only one downside. You can only respawn a few times and might often forget to recharge it. But there's an easy way to fix this by placing a dispenser filled with glowstone facing towards the respawn anchor and attaching 2 observers facing each other. You can set up this observer clock that constantly recharges your respawn anchor. Whenever you build your house, never use full blocks for flooring. This is because most slabs have a much larger blast resistance than normal blocks and could make the difference between you sleeping in your bed or your entire house being blown up into pieces. Maps are one of the most annoying things to craft in Minecraft Java Edition. No one really needs them for anything, and that's why it is annoying when you need a compass to make them. So imagine my surprise when I found out that Bedrock Edition has a far better way of making maps. By using a cartography table, you can actually craft empty maps using only a single piece of paper. Now I can have infinite maps! Cakes are my favorite food in Minecraft. However, I can never carry that many of them because they do not stack like any other food in the game. But in Bedrock, cakes are actually stackable. I can finally carry around 2,304 cakes in my inventory. You never know when you might be a bit peckish. One of the best creative features within Bedrock Edition is definitely the structure void. This is not a block that is only in Bedrock Edition, but the Java counterpart is pretty horrendous. In Bedrock Edition, the structure void will let you place items on top of it, such as rails and flowers. But the best part about this is that you can still walk through the structure void, meaning you can make amazing looking roller coasters without all the hideous blocks for your rails to go on. Looking at the sun can be immensely dangerous. However, within the Java edition of Minecraft, looking at the sun does nothing to you. If you were to do this in the Bedrock edition instead, you would see this weird blindness effect appear on your screen, which is what happens when you actually look at the sun. Although I will not look for too long. Ah, my eyes! This waterfall shouldn't exist. The water doesn't rise up at any point as it flows around this track. And yet, as it reaches the end, it hits a waterfall and lands back down. You can even get a minecart to follow the water in its impossible journey. But it's all about perspective. Move away from this spot, and you can see how the minecart rises up to the top. It's a magic trick! Don't tell anyone though, or the magic police will come for me. Have you ever been sitting watching YouTube in your bed at 2 a.m. and suddenly the brightness on your phone screen has gone up? A rejected idea for Minecraft was to have an opposite potion to the darkness effect. A brightness effect where the screen would become so bright that you could not see anything, and you essentially became sunblind. I can see why this one was rejected as, wow, this is bright. Careful, don't make a sound. Achoo! Oh no! Run away! I think I got away. I wish I had this next rejected Minecraft idea. The Potion of Silence, which was as you would expect, makes you silent. Swift Sneak is a very useful enchantment, but sometimes I do not want to break my finger holding down the crouch key. If I had this potion, I could run straight by this warden and he would not even flinch. Mods have not had many updates since their release besides new or retextured versions popping up here and there. There was, however, originally a plan for an iron boat, but I think we can see why this one was rejected. The boat probably would not work very well. I want a pet! No, I'm not after a cat. Parrots are kind of boring. Dogs? Ew! Wait, I haven't seen this one before. Yes, you heard it here. Originally, dolphins were meant to be tameable and rideable like an underwater horse. Why this idea was scrapped is beyond me. Please, Minecraft, give me a mob I can ride underwater. Create a chunk coordinates 9 on both the Z and X coordinates. However, the weirdest part is that you'll always find them facing towards the east. I'm never going to be able to unsee this. The next time you decide to use Riptide without an Elytra, you might want to think again. This is because full damage stacks up for all the time that you're in the air, meaning no matter how softly you land, you're going to be unaliving yourself in seconds. What's the most horrifying mob in the game? The Warden? Ender Dragon? Or even Enderman? Nope, it's parrots. On the surface, they might seem innocent, but in reality, they're beasts. For starters, parrots in Minecraft are coded to gather around every mob they see because Mojang thought it would be close to their real-life nature. Yeah, maybe Jeb should be surrounded by 1,000 dancing parrots and then decide whether that's fun. This is so creepy! Stop staring at me! You might already know that any items you throw on a cactus get destroyed immediately. However, there is one block that can even make the almighty cactus seem harmless, and that is snow. Snow will never get destroyed when placed next to a cactus. So if you're really afraid of cacti, you can use this trick to have a cactus force field. Villager noises are almost as big as Minecraft itself at this point. That's why you'd be surprised to know that until Java Edition 1.6.1, they made no noises at all. Trying to imagine a silent villager is almost as bad as imagining a white Enderman. That's racist. Night vision is one of the most useful enchantments in the game, but use this incorrectly and you'll be getting yourself into a fever dream. Oddly enough, looking at the horizon with this effect active makes it so that the entire sky flashes with different colors. If you've got a cramped house like this one and you're trying to figure out where to put the ladder, try placing a line of trapdoors like this and putting the ladders on them. Alternatively, if you're creative, try using the debug stick to create floating ladders that take up even less space. Now that's ingenuity. Here's a cool way to make an armor stand look like it's holding a sword. Start by placing an end rod with a candle on top, then pushing an armor stand into it from behind. Then put some armor on it and push 2 blocks down behind it, and you have your very own knight in shining armor. All my life, I've made this huge enchanting setup with all these bookshelves, but apparently you only need 15 bookshelves in total, meaning this tiny setup works just as well as this one. And wait, it's actually true? My life is a lie. There are 3 different types of overworld frog: warm, cold, and temperate. But supposedly there's a 4th secret frog you can only get in the end. If you take 2 frogs and lead them to the stronghold, send them through the portal and feed them slime balls, the tadpoles will grow into super frogs! Yeah, I just made that up, they're just normal. Myth busted. This myth says you can shoot fire arrows to the bottom of a lava cauldron, but there's no way that's true. Can you even shoot below them at all? Huh, wait, I guess it is true. How didn't I know that? Am I stupid or something? I bet you didn't know that after using a sponge, if you put in a furnace and use a lava bucket as fuel, you will receive not only your dry sponge in return, but the water bucket and the fuel slot will be filled right back up with water. Nice attention to detail, Mojang. Most players know that there are 2 types of cows: regular cows and mushrooms. Though what most people don't know is that there's actually a secret hidden 3rd type of cow. During a thunderstorm, if a mushroom is struck by lightning, it'll turn into the ultra-rare brown mushroom. This special type of mushroom can give you suspicious stew, instead of the boring old mushroom stew that a regular mushroom gives. Gross. For some reason, when turtles are struck by lightning, they turn into wooden balls? What is this, Mojang? Almost everybody knows that sunflowers in Minecraft always face east. But there's actually another plant that does this kind of similarly. Pumpkin stems will always point northwest. Eating a chorus fruit will teleport you to a random nearby block, even if that block is maybe on the other side of a wall. So if you head underground and build a tunnel like this, making sure to place carpets on the ground, you can build a base on the other side of the wall that can be instantly entered by simply eating a chorus fruit. However, I think the best possible secret entrance is one that I've never seen anybody use. Simply dying can teleport you tens of thousands of blocks away depending on where you set your spawn. So you can make an underground obsidian bunker far away from anything else, store your items in an ender chest, and instantly teleport there. Then you can build a machine like this to obstruct your spawn point for 60 seconds and instantly respawn at 0-0 again. Endermen hate rain and water and will freak out and teleport as soon as they touch any. This means if you're being chased by one, just chuck some water at your feet and you'll be completely safe. Wither skeletons look fierce and they do deal a ton of damage, but because they're undead, they actually die in just one swing of a Smite V diamond sword. Ravagers, however, are much tougher. Can you believe these things literally have 50 hearts of health? Some people think it's best to use bows or lava to kill these things, but they don't know you can do this. Ravagers won't walk over sweetberry bushes, meaning if you simply just place a line of them outside a village, you'll not only keep them out, but also almost every single mob in the game. This first trick is really strange. This inventory looks empty, but nothing is getting picked up. They're actually full with light gray stained glass panes. When your friend is AFK, flood them with panes, and watch as they get totally confused while they're not picking anything up. Friends can be very trusting, leaving themselves AFK in your world. You could play this pretty unknown trick. Set down a compastor and fill it up, leaving just 3 pixels of space. Then push them in and close the door. They'll actually be trapped and can only escape by breaking the whole thing. If your friend does carpet, a wicked trick is to put magma blocks in the floor and cover it with matching carpet. Watch for your friend to come home and watch as they hop around, confused, as they take damage from their beloved carpet. This fun hack will protect your buildings from being mined away by dirty, griefing players. It's simple. Just hide an Elder Guardian underneath your home, and breaking your walls and floors will become near impossible. Another way to defend is to make sure your enemy actually dies with this high IQ hack. Normally, your enemy can jump out of lava, but if you put a honey block under a cauldron with lava in it, it becomes way harder and almost guarantees they won't survive. This weird hack lets you actually sleep among the fishes. It turns out you can put a bed underwater, and it will make an air pocket when you lie in that bed. You can even use this hack to hide your bed away, because nobody will expect to see it there. Freak your friends out with this wild pig riding hack. See, if you make your floor out of path blocks and put a gap underneath the floor, you can ride a pig through that empty space, and your head will pop out of the path like a severed head greeting your guests. The nether looks great, and this hack lets you bring it to the safety of your own home. Instead of using a portal, put the obsidian blocks in your wall, then go through and recreate the nether on the other side. You get all the looks with none of the danger. This sneaky hack lets you hide vines under item frames, shaped, which you can then place maps over, or paintings. The vines are hidden but still work, letting you climb them like invisible ladders. This secret block is the most complicated block of them all. The jigsaw block is what the game uses to generate villages and structures throughout the game. You can only get the block through a command, because the blocks delete themselves after it's done its job. This secret item was disabled from the game. The bundle was a bag you could carry and fill with any other items up to the stack limit. If you had emeralds, diamonds, and netherite, you could fit them all into one space. And when you right-click, it launches all the goodies out onto the ground like a bag of candy thrown at your friends. Brewing charts will be the end of me. Why couldn't the devs have just told us what potion each item makes? Kind of like what Alchemy Helper does by adding what kind of potion will be made if you brew an item. This even goes as far as adding extra information to flowers to make it easier to craft suspicious stews. If you're a psycho and actually play Bedrock, this chunk visualizer is the only thing that can keep you sane. Not only that, it even displays the coordinates without having to bring up this ugly menu that takes up half the screen.
But Mallow, can't we just use the F3 shortcut?
Stop! Bedrock players aren't allowed an opinion! Imagine if Minecraft had a setting where you can make all the utility tweaks you ever needed. Better textures, a real-time clock, a coordinate HUD, everything! That's why Vanilla Tweaks is the most overpowered mod to exist in the game. This is the ultimate all-in-one pack that allows you to modify any texture and download utility within seconds. Most importantly, you can rehaul the way your entire game looks with tons of block textures. Look at my massive crop field! Can you even tell which of these are ready to be harvested? Yeah, not even Herobrine would be able to do that. Fortunately though, Easy Farm can be outlining fully grown crops in white. This is especially useful for nether warts because they all look the same for God's sake! Mobs in Minecraft just seem to plop over as they die, and this is awfully boring! Something like torturable health bars is far better. The Warden loses an ear. The Enderman starts looking like he went through war, and jaws for skeletons fall off. Fleshier mobs like the zombie and husk lose parts of their head. Wait, this game just became PG-18? Behold the infinite obsidian walls at the center of the world! In the very first version of Infdef Minecraft, there were two infinite walls of obsidian that intersected at 0, 0, the center of the world. This was because coordinates hadn't been implemented yet. I mean, how else do you show the center of the world without two massive walls that go on forever? That's how I remember important places. You should see my house. It's very expensive. What happened to roses in Minecraft? Well, they got replaced by poppies that you can actually make things with. The same thing happened to cyan flowers, which are now extinct. But hey, who doesn't love a bouquet of poppies for Valentine's Day? Nobody? No wonder I didn't have a girlfriend. This item was never supposed to exist! The crystallized honey was accidentally added in snapshot 19W34A and was removed almost instantly in 19W42A. Some say it was supposed to be a food source, but we'll never know now because it was taken away! Luckily, I have the last remaining piece of honey from all those years ago. Maybe I shouldn't have left it out for years. Look at this cute little plushie! Just dig a hole 1 block deep, push 4 armor strands into that place in an X formation, equip them with leather chest pieces, and then plant black wool on top. The wool will turn the leather black to match, and then you can put a banner in front to act as the face. Oh, so cute. I shall defend it with my life! Yeah! Everyone loves a white Christmas, and you can make one whenever you want by simulating snowfall just outside the window. This is done with a carpet duplicator just above the window, constantly breaking pieces, causing the particles to fall down. Inside the house, it looks just like a snowy day. Wait, but I'm in the desert! Everyone knows TNT explosions cause knockback, but if you're in creative or peaceful mode, the knockback will be way stronger. In these versions, the blast will send you 9 times further. Here, let me demonstrate. Wait, no, I'm on crave mode! Have you seen this double-headed baby? Oh, can't see the other head? Let's look a little closer. Baby zombies can wear hats, including mob heads, but their hat layer is shrunk to their body size. Unfortunately, their heads are inflated massively, so when they wear a hat, it gets hidden inside. God, taking that hat off must hurt like crazy. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry! Hey, I didn't mean it! There is nothing better than a nice relaxing bath after an immensely stressful day, and now you can have one of these in your house. All you have to do is use stairs, slabs, some water, and a minecart, and you can create this relaxing looking bath. Time to kick back. Wow, too hot! I love building houses with a nice medieval aesthetic, and one thing every medieval house needs is a well. And thanks to this rule-breaking Minecraft build, you can create the illusion of a bucket going into a well. This is very satisfying to look at. There are no food items I can have on display in my house, so I found out that thanks to this neat little trick, you can make different kinds of fruit barrels. By using different coral blocks surrounded by spruce trapdoors, you can make a blueberry barrel, an apple or berry barrel, and a banana barrel? Sponge barrel? Some kind of yellow fruit barrel. The biggest mistake people make is to mine randomly for the resources they need. You want diamonds? Go to a river. It turns out that if a river has a clay patch, that is a sign there are diamonds below. Start at the the center of the clay patch, go 2 blocks in the Z direction and mine straight down. You'll be swimming in diamonds! But never mine straight down. If you're not careful, you can break the block below you and fall straight into some lava. So, always mine down with 2 blocks and have a water bucket so you can clutch. Sometimes though, all you need to destroy a server is an old classic, a boatload of TNT. Because of the way TNT works in Minecraft, by being all of a block, entity, and falling entity, if you place and detonate enough TNT, you can break just about any server. So let's give it a try. Okay, just gotta place some TNT here, then just fill this all in and voila! This is gonna be way more than enough. Okay, here we go! Whoa, no way! Oh no, my PC is starting to struggle. And there goes the server. See, just having enough TNT can truly destroy a Minecraft server without any commands and any gimmicks. It just takes a lot of gunpowder. The way Minecraft is coded actually makes it one of the buggiest games in the industry. But more often than not, these bugs are gonna be incredibly hard to find. However, one of the most well-known bugs in Minecraft comes with getting onto the nether roof, and this can break a Minecraft server with a little bit of tricking your friends. If you manage to trick one of your friends to follow you onto the nether roof, you can actually get them stuck up there. This breaks a Minecraft server because you will be the only person capable of surviving. Bedrock should be given an award for the world's buggiest mess, and understandably so. You've never noticed that there is a very small chance that if you use a weapon with the knockback enchantment, it will actually stack up. Wait, does this mean I can get knockback 1000? Jockeys have remained one of the most unbelievable mobs to exist, and for a long time, the chicken jockey with a 1.9912E 33% chance to spawn was thought to be the rarest version, even compared to the mushroom jockey and spider jockey. However, this Reddit user managed to discover a much rarer variation of the chicken jockey with a spawn rate of 4.3797E 75%.
But Mallow, what's the difference between the two?
Well, duh. One of them is left-handed and can even pick items up. For a long time, Mojang were experimenting with adding crocodiles and alligators to the game. These mobs would have brought with them items that could be turned into armor, weapons, and fashion accessories. However, since Mojang has now taken such a big stance on not adding real animals to Minecraft, they decided to bench this idea. Thankfully, there is one animal that has become very famous over the last couple of years that Mojang refuses to add to the game. This is the capybara, an adorable little friend that could have made for an amazing traveling companion or even just a friend to welcome you home after your mining expedition. Please, Mojang, add the cappies. I drink a lot of coffee. However, there is still nothing in Minecraft that really satisfies my need for caffeine. So I came up with a way to build a coffee machine within Minecraft. Just get a dispenser, push an armor stand through some blocks, give it an iron chest plate, and then push some blocks into it from above. And voila, you have a coffee machine. I'm a huge Disney fan, and one Disney movie that never gets enough credit is The Sword in the Stone. So in my house, I decided I wanted a monument to the film that really should not be doable in Minecraft. Place a slab and 3 stairs in a circle. Use a dispenser to put an armor stand in the middle, and then push it down with some blocks. Push an end rod in to cover the gap in between the armor stand, and then you have your very own Sword in the Stone. I just wish it would come out! Another massive mistake that many players make is mining obsidian directly after pouring water on lava. While it's easy to avoid, most die because of this. But I've got just a solution for you. Next time, pour water on a nearby block to solidify the new layer of lava. It's that simple. There's only one thing that's harder than bedrock: boats! By placing boats under mobs, you can immobilize them completely. They become completely docile and will look at you even if you try to murder them. Who knew an Enderman's worst enemy was some wood? However, this isn't even the best part. If you trap a creeper and sit inside the boat, you will take a total of 0 damage. How is this even allowed? For years, people have been using clutches like the water bucket and holding down certain movement keys. But there's a much more overpowered way of doing this by using powdered snow. This is much better than water, which will usually waterlog leaves. However, not only that, you can climb upwards by wearing leather boots. So even if you have 2 snow blocks, they're enough to get you out of any hole. Do you want to hide items from your friends? Easiest method to do so by far is to attach hoppers to grass paths. Once items drop onto these, they will disappear completely. Wait, so this is where villagers hide all their loot? Crafting a boat in Java is very weird. Wait, where did these paddles come from? Thankfully, Bedrock Edition has a far better system for explaining this law-breaking feature. You need to craft a boat by adding in a shovel to be used as the paddles. Now this makes so much more sense. I tend to play Minecraft for a long time every day. However, when I need to get food or a drink, I always make sure to pause my game. This way, no mobs can come and steal my diamonds while I am time away. However, with Bedrock Edition, this seems like a luxury, as in this version, pausing your game will not stop anything, as you can still be hit by mobs or have your valuable diamonds stolen. Wait! Bring them back! Ever wanted to make a cloud? Probably not. But this illusion lets you do just that. It's just a lot of stained glass block walls layered with a block gap between each layer. Make enough of them and make them big enough, and the edges fade, looking realistically fluffy like a real cloud. Makes you want to dive into it. Ow. Pop quiz, which is darker, the left or the right? Trick question, they're both the same color. Haha. Your brain figures out color by referencing the colors around it. So if the yellow is next to more white blocks, then it appears light. Put it next to these green blocks though, and the opposite happens. It's a crazy illusion that happens all the time in real life. Minecraft, the most realistic game confirmed. Oh, someone's at the door. This entire house has been rotated and is actually on its side. And that's not a door opening, it's a hole in the floor. Pulling this off even requires a fake sky outside to sell the illusion. It is a nice house though. Slabs are one of the most useful blocks in Minecraft for building a roof. Seriously, I don't ever use them for anything. But what if I told you that at one point you could have been able to use slabs as a wall? Well, originally Mojang planned on adding in vertical slabs, but thought people would use them as a wall, so instead they created the wall block. Right, I can definitely find the stronghold now. Let me just throw this ender away. Wait, where did it go? Oh, it is trapped down there. Time to mine for it, I guess. How did I not find it? I just wish the ender eye cleared the blocks in its path. Well, at one point, this is an idea that Mojang brought to the table. However, they were concerned this ruined the adventure aspect of finding a stronghold, so they removed it. Ah, there it is. This is a straight redstone trail. Pretty simple, right? Well, this is a straight line of redstone going up. Why is this so complicated? Well, originally it wasn't supposed to be. Mojang actually rejected the idea to have redstone be vertical as well as horizontal. Imagine all the amazing elevator bills and more I could make if they had not ruined this for me. War crime. However, by using 7 slime blocks, 5 sticky pistons, 4 redstone blocks, and 4 obsidian, you can set up this machine that lets you place floating lava blocks. The best part is, this isn't even limited to lava. You can do the same thing with water. Rails are one of the best things Mojang added to the game, but we can make them even better by simply putting a trapdoor below them, which makes it so they can float in midair. Pair this up with a contraption. It's kind of annoying Minecraft's water can only ever be 1 block wide, meaning you can't make small droplets or tiny streams very easily. However, blue glass panes work as a perfect substitute for cases like this. The same goes for ice. How do we have ice and dripstone but no icicles? Well, maybe it's because Mojang knows that light blue glass panes do the job perfectly, but come on, I can't take out zombies with them, so what's even the point? Whenever you're building a hedge in your world, try placing podzol beneath the leaves. This both acts like a shadow, but also kind of looks like leaf litter or mulch beneath the hedge. I really like the word mulch, by the way. Mulch. Wait, what are we doing? Oh yeah, build hacks. Did you know you can place nether plants like crimson fungus or warped roots outside of the nether? What's really weird is that you can only place them on grass or dirt, not cobblestone. This is super weird to me because netherrack and cobble seem most similar to me. But I guess now we know netherrack is just like hard dirt. What? My head hurts. Everyone knows that you can't stack different types of slabs on top of each other. Apparently, if you go to the world border and make a setup like this, you can use a piston and yep, it makes a really cursed looking block. This one's true. Mangrove trees are super cool, especially because they're the only tree that can be grown underwater, right? Well, the propagule is the only thing that can actually be placed down here and works perfectly. Saplings, however, get broken almost immediately. Almost immediately. If you're quick enough, you can actually grow trees down here. This definitely doesn't feel right, but hey, the game's a game. This one says that if you spawn a cat in a witch hut, it'll always be black. I've spawned about 50 of these things in here, and they're all black, so I'll say that's confirmed. Speaking of mansions, Vindicators will stop at nothing to murder entire villages worth of villagers, but they're not completely heartless. Even though they're happy to kill tons of adult villagers, Vindicators will actually refuse to target baby villagers. But that isn't going to slide in my book, because there's actually a way around this. If you're on Bedrock Edition, naming a Vindicator Johnny will turn him into a psychopath, and he'll go on a rampage, regardless of age. That's more like it! Cave noises have been the #1 enemy of my soiled underpants. But did you know you can actually predict exactly when these will happen? Simply press F3 and wait for the mood percentage to hit 100%, and when it does, the sound will play. Or just turn your sound off. I'm still not taking the risk. When it's snowing outside, snow layers will pile up on top of all the blocks around you, sometimes even stacking up to the size of a full block. But for some reason, there are 2 blocks in the entire game that this doesn't happen to. Both ice and packed ice are immune to snowfall, and even trying to manually place snow on them doesn't work. This isn't the case with blue ice though, even though they're almost the exact same. Everyone loves a good explosion, so here's a way to make a totally invisible and instant landmine. Just place a bunch of TNT minecarts on some powered rails like this, and hook them up to a skulk sensor right next to them. Sneak away and you've got the best hidden way to protect your house. gas. Isn't it so crazy? Ah! My house! But if you want a slightly less destructive method of protection, it's time to hire some soldiers. Bees will actually stay aggravated permanently, meaning if you trap a bunch below the floor in your base and rig them up to release when any intruders enter, they'll swarm them instantly and even chase them down for miles. Let's be honest though, you don't want anyone in your base at all. So it's time to up the security. With just a couple chains and walls, you can create a cool looking fence, but add some magma blocks covered in moss below and it will actually turn into an electrified laser fence. It works too. If you're standing on the magma, you can't actually break the chain before you die. Iron golems are also immune to drowning, but they're so heavy they can't actually swim. This means you can trap an iron golem underwater and take it out super easily. Given they're literally made out of fire, it's not hard to guess that blazes are weak to water, but it's a little inconvenient to make use of this. So instead, try bringing some snowballs to the fortress, as they actually damage them quite a lot. Just 7 snowballs can take out a blaze despite dealing no damage to any other mob. Most people try to kill gas with their own fireballs, which, don't get me wrong, is extremely fun, but also kinda dangerous. Gas actually only have 5 hearts of health, meaning that instead of risking your life for a stylish kill, you can just shoot them once with a power 2 bow. Now that is weak. A real dirty trick only works if your friend puts down signs. Be a little mischievous by moving the signs around and swapping them about. They'll get lost in no time. In a snowy area, try this bouncy castle trick. Build a castle with a spot where you need to drop down. Cover the lower area with slime blocks. Cover that with snow. And when your friend drops down onto it, they'll bounce wildly out of control into whatever hazard you want. This trick is simple and classic. Chests don't open when there's a block above them. So put some obsidian on top and watch your friends slowly chip away just so they can access their tools. This next trick requires your very own pet zombie. Put a name tag on them, hide them under your friend's bed, and watch as a game and let them sleep because enemies are too close by. Optical illusions can be used in some crazy hacks, like this house that watches you wherever you go. Thanks to the way those creepy eyes have been made, they actually sink into the building, creating that creepy illusion. I've got my eye on you. This weird hack takes advantage of a cute little axolotl. If you tie a leash to one and connect that to a post, that post gets this cool rope model put on it. And when you pick the axolotl up again in the bucket, the leash is gone, but the rope stays, providing a nice detail to your fancy bridge or fence. Check out this insane near illegal hack, where this water is somehow protected from the lava. What's actually happening is that the lower block has a waterlogged sign, and that sign is keeping the lava up, while the waterlogging makes sure it doesn't burn. It's a crazy hack which can be a crazy decoration to show your friends. This secret ender pearl technique lets you phase through walls, and can even get through the roof of the nether. Climb a ladder up to the bedrock ceiling, pearl into the bedrock, and keep going forward! You'll phase through the top. In Minecraft, there's a secret world called Debug World. To find it, you have to press Shift and click on the World type button. Press it enough and you'll find Debug World, which is a vast void filled with every single asset in the game. This is a Minecraft Trails and Tales trailer, and this is normal Minecraft. Yeah, this sucks. But we can fix this by using the Bare Bones pack. This just seems to bring everything to life, and we can make it even better by using the nostalgia shaders. I guess I won't be needing to bleach my eyes now. But there's one more pack that we can add to make this even better than the trailer. I'm talking about Simple Hotbar, which changes all the vanilla hunger bars, hearts, and even the UI boxes. Moving on to one of Minecraft's most important items, cakes! According to the way cake disappears in the game, it's clear that good old Steve is eating it vertically. This is clearly game-breaking and ruins my immersion. Mojang should have used better cake slices instead, which makes the cake disappear chunk by chunk instead. Finally, the game is playable! One of the most poor decisions was to make every single enchantment book look the same. Look at all these books! I bet you can't even tell the difference. However, using visual enchantments not only adds these sick animations to each book, but it also applies the same animations to whatever you enchant. Now this is something that should have been in the game for years. If everything in Minecraft is a cube, it only makes sense that the sun and moon should be too. While Notch made them into squares in an old version of the game, we can take this one step further by using the cubic moon and sun packs. This makes it so that your world's day and night cycles are controlled by these massive cubes, although you don't want to look at them directly. Ah! My eyes! I can proudly say that I've never been scared of mobs in Minecraft, but this kind of pride goes down the drain after using Gray's Mob Overhaul. The simple texture pack makes every mob look like a Frankenstein creation, from the skeletons to the zombies to striders to the wither. Every single mob is going to force you to either take a quick trip to the washroom or just set your monitor on fire. Did I also mention that creepers actually look creepy now instead of looking like snot balls? While Gray's Mob Overhaul is horrifying, we can upgrade that to trauma-inducing by using spawn animations. Instead of appearing out of thin air like they usually do, mobs now dig themselves out of the ground. Even though this is scary, making mobs scarier than they are right now is something that Mojang should have added to the game long ago. The current textures for leaves look as bad as a bold man man sticking chunks of hair on his head. Yeah, it's disgusting. However, better leaves can fight this absolute tragedy by making the leaves look like, well, actual leaves by adding depth to each individual part of the leaf block. It was this simple? The nether portal Mojang designed just feels empty. By that, I mean it's like someone threw up a purple poster. However, we can see its true potential by using the mystic nether portal. Not only does this give a massive texture overhaul, but also adds these ancient letters into the portal animations itself. Fun fact, the symbols you see are the actual letters that Minecraft uses throughout the game, the standard galactic alphabet. But that's not even the best part. Your portal can be green, orange, or even red, depending on whether or not you use traditional texture packs. Have you ever noticed how item drops in Minecraft are always vertical? I'm no Einstein, but how can a piece of armor stay upright? Well, item physics makes this much more realistic by making all items drop horizontal. Not only that, it also manipulates how items lay on the ground to trick you into thinking that they are actually in contact with the blocks below them. I love playing Minecraft for realism. Did you know at one point Steve was removed from Minecraft? Well, sort of. You see, these strange creatures look like a normal player, but behind the eyes, there's a hollow nothingness. They walk in circles, jump randomly, and pass through water like it's nothing at all. What do they want? Have they come to replace me? At least now I won't be so lonely. Have you seen this girl? Probably not. She hasn't been in Minecraft for over a decade. Ever since a developer called Doc left the Mojang team, he had made a bunch of characters, including Rana, the first character to make human pain sounds. She had animations but never used them, instead sliding around with arms outstretched like a human armor stand. Plus, with her limited AI, if you put too many in one place, they would fall off cliffs and die. This mob has no skin at all. Tucha was a character with no face, a blank white design, and had no mouth, so it can't scream. It was probably used to test mob spawning and similar mechanics, but it was removed in 1.2.1_01. I guess I could try to be its friend, but something tells me it's not one for conversation. How about throwing a pizza party? Picture frames holding campfires look like pizza slices. The actual pizza box has 2 trapdoors, one over a 2-block pit with 3 layers of snow. Put an armor stand on that with a pumpkin head and drop it through the trapdoor, and the top of the pumpkin will peek out. Add a bunch of different angles and you've got a kind of round pizza. Now you can distract the golems with pizza and they won't attack anyone. You can make a real working chair that looks totally seamless. Put a minecart built above a chest in the ground. Break the block above to let the cart drop out of the chest. Next, add a wooden slab and push it into the cart with a piston. Then build the rest of the chair around it. Wait, someone messed with this chair. Are those rails? Everyone knows playing chess makes you look super smart. So, make a chess set by pushing 4 armor stands into the same pit, putting chainmail helmets on them, and pushing a smooth quartz slab in from above. Black and white candles look like chess pieces to complete the set. Who wants a game? I'm super good. I even know that these guys are called horsies. Wait, is that Magnus Carlsen? Look at this insane XP level. It's completely broken the experience bar, so it won't show up at all. All you see is the massive number. This is because the amount of experience is literally too much for the game to handle. It's like doing so good on a test, the teacher gives you an F-. I'm sorry, I'll give you more apples if you give me a better grade. Please! I bet you didn't know that loading your game could push mobs into walls, suffocating them. All entities can end up in slightly different positions when you load in, and if they're next to a block, a tree, or fence, they can end up stuck inside. Oh, my poor sheep are suffocating in this stone. Silverfish! I bet you've never seen this hybrid tree. It's made of all sorts of different trees and was naturally grown. This was done by placing a few blocks of one tree above the sapling. When the sapling grows, it uses those placed blocks, even if they're from a different type of tree. You can keep doing this over and over and create weird hybrids. And though this is a bug, it actually replicates real-life hybrids. Some have over 40 different species in a single tree. Imagine if you could do that with animals. Oh wait, never mind, bad idea! Tired of having to line your garden in torches? Well, why don't you try this building hack which lets you have the same brightness as glowstone without having the ugly blocks be visible. Break a hole into the ground, place a piece of glowstone or another light block, and then cover it with moss. Obviously, this only works in plains biomes. Have you ever wanted to build a secret base inside of a snowy mountain? You should use powdered snow. If you place 2 powdered snow in front of the entrance to your mountainside base, and as long as you remember to wear your leather boots, you can go in fine, and everyone else will fall into the snow. Everyone knows about hiding a secret entrance behind a painting, but this house will tear apart your friendships, since you can create this huge lava ravine behind the painting. Make sure you make it obvious that there is something behind your painting painting, and voila! You have tricked your friend into one of the most embarrassing deaths ever. Weeping vines can be a lifesaver, so don't make the mistake of forgetting to bring some to the nether. You can't use water there, so to get down from a high place, put a weeping vine up, use bone meal, and it will grow as a perfect ladder down to safety. Needing to know where one biome begins and another ends can be so important. Don't make it hard to see the line between them. Turn off the biome blend option. The hard line between biomes might look weird, but it's so useful. It's worth it. When trapping villagers or animals, the biggest mistake is not using honey. Put it under their feet so they can't jump out of their pen. You'll never have trouble with escaped villagers again. Get that efficiency enchantment on your shovel, but don't make the mistake of going past efficiency 4. It actually can't get faster, so you're wasting your time and experience. Redstone machines can be incredibly laggy. The types of builds that come to mind are builds like redstone update suppressors or even large automated farms. However, one of the laggiest redstone builds only requires 2 types of redstone, a piece of redstone and a redstone repeater. By building this incredibly simple design, you can begin to lag any server. And due to how simple this is to build, you can scale this infinitely. To crash just about any server, just make sure you build it quickly, as otherwise you may well be banned. Who doesn't love a good little dance party in Minecraft? You turn on your favorite music disc, pick step, anything else is wrong. And then you and your buddies start crouching at each other, shaking what your mother gave you. Well, sometimes you want the dance party to be so big that it can crash a server, and thanks to this redstone machine, you can invite countless armor stands to your dance party. By building this incredible simple design using observers, pistons, and armor stands, you can turn your dance party into a bounce house dance party. And if you continue to add more armor stands, observers, and pistons, you can create one of the biggest lag machines in Minecraft. Of course, there is one way to turn everyone on your friend's server against each other without using any commands, cheats, or even any items. All you have to do is kill your friend's disgusting dog. By killing a dog or even another pet and blaming it on someone else, you can cause complete turmoil, pitting all of your friends against each other. Wait, someone killed my chicken. I hate Bedrock Edition! The only good thing that's ever come out of it is this super rare texture bug where villagers go to sleep like this. This is so unique that there are no other instances of this happening. I wonder though, maybe this guy's having too much of a good time. Cracked Magnet is literally the god of Minecraft seeds, and it's no wonder he managed to find this insane world. Not only is there a massive sinkhole, but there's a village place at the surface of the lake and at the bottom too. However, my favorite part is this cozy little underwater igloo. Who even lives here? Aquaman? If you're the proud owner of a few hundred horses like I am, you'll be shocked to know just how impossible it is to find horse armor in strongholds. These have an insanely low spawn rate at 2.5% in altar chests. And if that wasn't surprising enough, the chance you find all 3 variants is 0.001563%. What do I do with all these horses now? Well, there are 18.4 quintillion seeds in Minecraft. The math behind getting the same seed is gonna blow your mind. Thankfully, this user on Reddit did it for us and figured out that you have to have a 1 in 340 decillion? Yeah, you know it's serious when the words are harder to say than the numbers. We have dogs in Minecraft, and we have cats, but we, for some reason, do not have the 3rd most popular pet, fish. Now, I know, we do have fish, but we do not have the ability to tame fish. Sure, you can trap them in a 1x1 aquarium, but that does not feel the same as having dogs or cats within the game. Mojang, please add a fish that I can tame. Jungles feel a little bit lacking in the mob department, as it only has 2 native mobs to the jungle, being the panda and the parrot. However, this is because Mojang refuses to add this next mob into the game. Monkeys would have made a very interesting addition to Minecraft. They would be able to swing from branch to branch, and would most likely have come with a banana item in order to tame them. I can understand why monkeys aren't in the game though, as this sounds like a coding nightmare. I need a way to intimidate all of my enemies before they come anywhere near my base. I know. I will build a giant bear to scare away all of my enemies. Oh no, I built a giant teddy bear. Well, this build hack will be immensely useful if you want a house that is both cuddly and aesthetically pleasing. Ah, what a cute house. I don't know about you guys, but I think the hardest thing to build in Minecraft is a kitchen. Or no more! As this build hack makes an amazing looking kitchen entirely in vanilla Minecraft. And the best part is, it is entirely functional, with multiple blocks with multiple different usages. Bedrooms in Minecraft are boring. You'll just have a bed, maybe 2 with some bookcases either side. However, thanks to this amazing bed build hack, you can make a bed that is far nicer to look at, and that is far more comfortable too. There are only 128 strongholds in an entire Minecraft seed, and if you dig block by block, you have a 1 in 23,420 chance of finding one. Yeah, that's insane. So, let's look at how to bypass this insane probability without using Eyes of Ender. All you have to do is trap yourself in a 1x1 hole and put a gravity block like gravel above your head. Bear this up with Optifine, and you'll be able to see for miles. Although, you might not want to do this trick with an anvil. You might have already known that lava is the best item to use for smelting. But with autocrafters, this trend is about to change very fast. With this insane contraption that Razeworks set up, it turns out that kelp is far superior to any other smelting item in the game. By using a flying machine, you can automatically harvest kelp and pass it through a smoker to turn it into dried kelp. The crafters can turn these into dried kelp blocks, with each block smelting 20 items. This is so overpowered! If you thought phantoms were annoying in Java Edition, just wait for this next feature exclusive to Bedrock Edition. In both versions of Minecraft, the phantoms do different amounts of damage. In Bedrock, the phantom will do 2 hearts of damage on easy, 3 hearts on normal, and 4.5 hearts on hard mode. Now compare this to the Java Edition where they do 1.5 hearts on hard mode, and you will realize that the Bedrock Edition makes these annoying flying bugs even more irritating. Maybe I should sleep before I leave. I'm terrified of these things. I love building automatic farms in Minecraft. However, one crop you cannot easily farm in Java Edition is sugarcane. There is no way you can grow sugarcane manually. However, Bedrock Edition gave players the ability to bone meal sugarcane, meaning you can easily farm a lot of sugar. This has made farming sugarcane so much easier. Have you ever found a horse that you love and are desperate to kit it out with some armor, but you look everywhere for it and cannot find any? Well, in Bedrock Edition, you can actually craft leather horse armor. Again, another immensely useful feature that really should be in both versions. Ah, horsey! Bedrock has some major issues with world generation, and one of these is the stripe land. This immensely buggy, almost void-like glitch can only be found when you travel over 16 million blocks away, which is very far when you're playing on Bedrock. Just gotta keep going! I just shrunk the whole world into a single glass block. Look, even small animals are trapped inside. Okay, not really. It's an illusion made by a glass block, sitting in front of a large room dug deep into the ground. Look at it from the right perspective and it looks like it's actually held inside the glass. Yes, my trapped little creatures! That's what you get for stealing my watermelons. These circles are lying to you. They're actually the same size. The trick is what you put the circles next to. When put next to large things, it looks small. Put it next to small things, it looks large. Your brain tries to gauge something's size by comparing it to the objects around it, and so it gets totally tricked by this illusion. That's why I only stand next to small things. I'm tall, I swear. Look out, a giant is coming for us. Or is it? Much like the circles, these are the same size. But because the tunnel is there, the zombie that is higher up looks like it's standing on the pavement at the back, making it look much bigger. In reality, they're harmless. Oh wait, no they're not! They're zombies! Help! Help! The Nether is a pretty uneasy place, and none are quite as uneasy as the Soul Stand Valley, with massive expanses of sand containing trapped souls. But one day they decided to add in these massive bone structures to resemble a long-dead species. Now, what if I told you that this species was originally going to have lived in the overworld? That is right, as there was originally going to be large skeletal remains found deep underground, but unfortunately they had some issues with spawning, and were rejected, and instead used as a structure for the Soul Sand Valleys. Andesite, boring. Diorite, boring. Granite, boring. Stone. Why are all these so boring? But did you know there was initially meant to be another stone variant called bluestone? Why this was rejected is largely unknown, but I imagine it would have looked kind of weird. Villagers cover the world in Minecraft, but there are some biomes where the villagers were just kind of forgotten. Jungle villages are confirmed to have at one point been a thing. But I bet you didn't know that initially there were plans to have a village in the mushroom biome. Well, this is one that certainly makes sense, but I would argue that this biome was interesting and rare enough that adding a village would make it next to impossible to find each melon block farmed. This enchantment is so broken. Bone meal is one of the most important resources you need in order to get rich fast, and in the Cherry Grove biome, you can get a huge amount of it in just a few minutes. To do so, quickly harvest all the pink petals you see, or you can be even faster and use a water bucket and place the water like this to get a huge flow. Give me all those petals! But how exactly do you get lots of bone meal fast if you can't find a cherry blossom biome? One of the best supplies for this is the Soul Sand Valleys in the Nether. You should be breaking each bone block you see here since they give 9 bone meal apiece. Couple this up with the farming techniques I told you about, and you could dominate your entire server with the amount of food you'd have. Yeah, I'm starting to think I like food a bit too much.
much.
What if I told you that it's possible to have ladders without having any ladders? For some reason, Minecraft freaks. We all know about chains, and I mentioned a way to make much bigger chains with grindstones in my last build hacks video. But if you need something a little smaller, try facing 2 sets of trapdoors into each other like this. To create a wooden chain, you can even change the color of. Buttons placed in invisible items on logs look suspiciously like bugs crawling all over it. Bugs that, by the way, you cannot eat. Do not, under any circumstances, ever eat the bugs. Ever! Speaking of bugs, in Bedrock Edition, you can place buttons on the top and bottom of fences, allowing for extra decoration. But in Java version, you can't do either. Honestly, I'm not sure if this is a bug or not, but it's still kind of annoying. Red and yellow candles make really good ketchup and mustard bottles for a diner or bar. And green candles are perfect replicas of beer. Wait, did someone say beer? 1.20 finally added armor customization with armor trims. But did they add the ability for our horses to get dripped with us? Alright, it doesn't work with diamond. What about leather? I guess not. Looks like it does work for turtle shells though, for extra swag for us. Sorry, horsey. Oh, and by the way, if you have a looting 255 sword and kill a screaming goat, you'll actually get a secret goat horn that plays a super special sound. Mob heads are extremely rare, but most players never even bother to collect them. Well, that changes today! Did you know that wearing a zombie head actually reduces their detection range by 50%, allowing you to blend in with them and live out your days as a zombie? I love brains! Did you know it's actually possible to ban yourself from a single-player world? All you have to do is cram a bunch of weird text into a book, then fill an entire shulker box with them. The information is just too much for Minecraft to handle, so it'll just ban you. I'm not sure why you'd want to do this, but hey, it's possible. Curing a zombie villager takes forever. But what most people don't know is you can actually speed up this process. For whatever reason, placing beds and iron bars around the villager will actually speed up the curing process by about 4%, which sure isn't that much, but hey, every second counts. Minecart rails also have the same effect, and you can make cool patterns out of them. But they have a second effect I think is even more interesting. For some reason, mobs see rails as completely impassable objects and won't ever walk over them. So if you surround your base with a railway, it'll be completely safe from the horrors of the outside world, and you get a fun little roller coaster too. Even though zombies can knock down doors with these, for some reason they're completely stopped by trapdoors. And given we can easily hop on all fours and crawl beneath, this simple setup works perfectly as a door that zombies have absolutely no hope of breaking down. Taming ocelots removes this weakness, just the same as taming a wolf removes theirs. And this one is the strangest so far. For some reason, wolves are super scared of llamas and will run away the seconds they get anywhere near them. I wonder why they hate them so much. Tamed wolves, however, are super chill with llamas until their human decides otherwise. But this is the same with every other mob in the game, except for creepers. So I guess this makes them weak to creepers? The only other thing dogs have to worry about is me! Despite being possibly the most peaceful mob in the game, sheep have their own enemies too. Wild wolves will attack any nearby sheep they can find. They don't even fight back, the poor things. Try this pit trap as a dirty trick to play. Dig a huge hole, put up a bunch of scaffolding to cover the top. Cover that with snow, and put a little treat in the center. Hide at the bottom and wait for them to take the bait. Then hit the scaffold and watch them tumble down to their death. Here's a trick they might not notice at first, but will hate when they notice. Dig out the blocks under your friend's house, then put path blocks all around it. Path blocks are slightly smaller, so the gap will show the empty underside of their house, but only if you're looking carefully. Once they notice, they'll see it everywhere. This will also help with this truly terrible trick. This gap under the house will fill up with monsters as they spawn in the dark. When your friend least expects it, will hear the growl of a zombie dangerously close, and will have no idea where it's coming from. Have another great defense hack that brings an adorable edge to your builds. If you want to keep creepers away from blowing up all your hard work, get a bunch of cats. The more, the better. Creepers and even phantoms are afraid of them, and will turn and run if the cat gets too close. This hack lets you show off a puffer fish in a glass case, puffed up at all times. It does this because there's actually an armored stand underneath, keeping it on edge. Above the stand is a waterlogged chest, keeping the fish alive, and a picture frame to cover that up. The glass case is a block that's been pushed on top with a piston to keep the fish in place. This sneaky little trick lets you copy a structure you've made and paste it wherever you like. Create a grand statue and fill your friend's world with your monstrous art. Ward off hoglins with just a funny little mushroom. These hulking pig beasts are terribly afraid of the warped fungus. No idea why, but at least it keeps them away from my pet Strider. This portal makes no sense! It's a portal spawned in only one seed so far, and for some reason the end portal is totally glitched. It generated with 6 eyes already in, and somehow created a portal that only covers 6 blocks. Let's take torturable health bars a step further by using Strizen's health health bars. Although having each mob display their health feels like it's cheating, it's an awesome addition for newer players and could even potentially save you from unaliving a villager or two. Let's use X-Ray! Wait, hear me out. There are tons of illegitimate ways to get X-Ray in the game, but using X-Ray Ultimate is completely okay if you intend to use it in a single-player world. This can be super useful if you're looking for something like ancient debris or emeralds, but are the world's unluckiest player. But this is only for noobs. I haven't used it at all. What else was I supposed to do? Maybe the wrong banner patterns has driven me insane. I wish I'd known about banner pattern clarity much earlier. This allows you to see small symbols on banners or you put them in a loom to ensure that you don't end up wasting resources. I've missed diamonds hundreds of times at this point, all because this game is way too dark. However, Mining Helper is one of the most OP textures to exist, since it gives every ore a glow-in-the-dark effect. I'm never missing an ore after this. This land should be overflowing with rubies. Before version 1.3, Mojang was planning on adding these beautiful gems to the game. You could use these to trade with villagers, similar to how emeralds work today. But the idea was scrapped because of one fatal flaw. This ore looked a lot like redstone, and Mojang didn't want to cause confusion. Check out this magnificent build! Now it just needs some finishing touches. The dirt slab! It was the only slab ever removed because they ruined everything. They made hills look nicer, sure, but they messed with terrain generation so much that Mojang scrapped the whole thing. Not worth the effort for a slightly smaller clump of dirt. I've found the legendary sword in the stone, Excalibur! Just dispense an armor stand, build stone above it, and put a lightning rod on that. Use a piston to push it down twice into the stand. And now the rod and stand are sticking out of the rock like a sword. Now if I pull it out, I shall be king of Minecraft! You can make working cannons. This hack is built on a wooden frame like a real cannon. It has a stone body leading up to a dispenser and observer. Fill it with fire charges and you can defend the castle with fire! I'm the real king of Minecraft! Ever wanted to play soccer in Minecraft? Make goalposts with quartz and make the net with spider webs. And you can make this even better by using a command to import a soccer ball using a Minecraft head. Unfortunately, you can't kick this ball. This game is gonna take a while. Builders love making fence posts with a lead attached, but this bug makes it way easier to create. Normally, you have to hide an animal underground and attach a lead to it, so you get this fence post design. But if you put the animal in a boat, the lead breaks, while the post stays the same. No more hassle and no more muffled bird noises from the secret birds you keep underground. Looks like chicken's on the menu tonight. Did you know that you can trade with a piglin at hyper speed? When you drop gold, a piglin will pick it up to trade. But there's a glitch where if you pull a gold block back and forth, the waiting time between trades resets. So the piglin throws another item out. Players have even built piglin trading farms using sticky pistons to abuse this technique, creating a fountain of trades. More trades! I'll work these piglins to the bone. Give me everything you have! Everyone loves a cute and cozy witch hut, except maybe the witches themselves, because the hut is so small that their hats clip right into the ceiling. Who designed this place? This is such an embarrassment. Ha! You look so stupid! Yeah, okay, I deserve that. Have you seen these strange worlds where bonus chests hover eerily over water? It's an old glitch in world creation, spawning them for seemingly no reason. What could possibly be in there? Some great secret? Let's take a look. Subscribe? Better do what it says! The floating box commands it! There are some mods that add things like cookers and microwaves into the game, but did you know you can actually do this in vanilla Minecraft? Well, if you use iron trapdoors and surround the block with a painting on it, you can create this amazing looking microwave. As for the cooker, just put an iron trapdoor on top of a furnace and it looks like a stove. Animal farms in Minecraft are boring. You always have a fence surrounding some animals on a grass block plot. However, this tiny little detail will help bring your animal pens to life. If you have a chicken pen, scatter some little hay beds around on an item frame and then place an egg within the item frame. And all of this just uses a horn coral fan. But make sure you waterlog the block it is on, otherwise it begins to look a little bit dead. Minecraft houses rarely come with bathrooms. This is both due to your player never using the bathroom and also how hard they are to create. However, this exceptional design lets you create a shower that actually looks like a shower. So no longer conform to your gamer tendencies. Build this shower today! Fish are some of the most underappreciated mobs in Minecraft. However, you can build these fish a rule-breaking home using just one block. Scaffolding can be waterlogged and then you can place your adorable little fishy friends into this fish tank. Just make sure you do not break the scaffolding. Mobs keep breaking into my bases and I am tired of it! So I found this amazing house hack that will stop any mobs from entering my house. Whenever a zombie chases me into my house, I turn around, open up this trapdoor, and watch them fall to their death. Eating berries is a mistake! The bushes are decoration at best, and they're actually one of the worst food types in the game, filling you less than even raw beef. Your chest chests need protecting. Don't make the mistake of letting creepers destroy them. To be totally sure they're safe, waterlog the chest. The water will protect it, and the creeper would have exploded for nothing. It's always a mistake to come unprepared, especially in the ancient city. Bring slow fall potions because you can jump through the city from any height. And if you stay in a straight line, you won't trigger the sensors. In creative mode, people always make the mistake of not using all 10 of their hotbars. That's right, 10. In creative mode, you can save your hotbar to a number. Save your hotbar using the C key and the number you want it saved to. Press X and that same number to access that hotbar in an instant.
Everyone has that one friend that you start a Minecraft server with, but then they suddenly vanish for months at a time. Well, with this Minecraft prank, you can get them back for abandoning you. By placing a bunch of chickens above a hopper that goes into a dispenser, you can create an infinite chicken spawner. Eventually, the house will be so overcome with chickens, they will have no excuse but to log back on and deal with the problem. If I were to ask you what the buggiest mob in Minecraft is, you most likely would not be able to give me an answer. But after hours of studying, researching, and trying to figure out which mob is the laggiest, I believe I have found the answer. The buggiest mob in Minecraft is a sheep. Nah, I'm just kidding, it's a bee. At least I believe it is. Okay, that was bad. Sorry. Anyway, you can destroy a Minecraft server by simply gathering and breeding as many bees as possible. Eventually, the server will become so buggy it is basically unplayable, with the server after a while becoming so infested that the server begins crashing. This must be the most unbelievable bug ever. Okay, I'm done with the bee puns. I promise, I'm not weird.
Chickens! I'll fry them all!
I mean, catch some with my insane luck. In Minecraft, there's only a 12.5% chance that a chick will spawn from an egg. If this happens, there is a further 3.125% chance that 3 chicks spawn instead of 1. So, how lucky would you have to be to pull this off with 16 eggs? The correct answer is not a 1 in a million, or even a billion, but a staggering 1 in 200 trillion. All that for chicken? Nah, I prefer my beef instead. It is actually possible to calculate the largest cave system in Minecraft 1.6.4. After doing a bunch of crazy math, we can conclude that the possibility of this happening is 1 in 8.8 times 10 to the power of 52. But that's far from the craziest part. In this older version of the game, there are only about 281 trillion possible cave systems, which is a much smaller value than the possibility for the largest cave. Yeah, good luck finding this one. Why do we have pyramids in Minecraft, but we do not have a mummy mob? Well, that is actually for a very good reason. When Mojang first added pyramids to Minecraft, they considered what mobs they could add to enhance the feeling of walking through a pyramid, but they could not settle on a good mummy design. And as such, they decided it would be best to add in the husk instead. Almost every animal in Minecraft has a baby variant. Cats have kittens, sheep have lambs, bees have, well, smaller bees. But one animal we will never get the baby variant of is a dolphin. For a short while, it appeared we were going to get baby dolphins as they appeared on Bedrock. But it turns out this was just a bug that was quickly patched. Give us the baby dolphins! Have you ever wanted to build a lovely little carnival in your world, but every time you try and build a balloon, it comes out looking weird? Well then, you need this build hack. By using a piece of wool, you can do this. Place one wool on top of a fence, and then attach a lead to said fence post. If you then go underground and trap some piggies covered by a block, you can build bunches of balloons connected to the ground. Just make sure you turn off animal noises, as it can get pretty loud. Sometimes you want a ladder that you are not always accidentally climbing every time you walk past it. Well, look no further than this build hack, since you can actually create a working ladder just by using trapdoors. Simply place the trapdoors on top of each other, and then you just stand in the right spots and then jump and right-click. And then when you are not using it, the ladder is nice and tucked away. Automatic tree farms are really expensive to build in survival, and some people just do not have the will to go out of their way to find all of the materials. Luckily, there is actually an incredibly cheap alternative to this that just requires some manual mining. The semi-automatic tree farm will pick up any items that you do not pick up, and as the tree deteriorates, it will also pick up those items, meaning your precious apples do not go to waste. Doors are the stupidest thing to exist in Minecraft. I mean, why even have them when you can straight up glitch through walls? Just run into a corner with a boat or dispense yourself through the wall. Wait, how do I get back in? If there's one thing that's important to Minecraft, it's your time. And who has the time to waste taming these stupid horses? Instead of taming them with normal food, you should use golden apples. With only 10 golden apples, your horsey is gonna go from fiend to friend. 8 gold blocks for one horse, definitely worth it. The way most players use potions is completely completely wrong, since they throw it at their feet. Doing this usually decreases the duration of the potion by a minute or two, whereas throwing it into the sky onto your head will give you the full amount.
But Mallow, why does this happen?
Do I look like a coder to you? World generation is very different between Bedrock and Java Edition. However, Bedrock Edition has an entirely exclusive item. This is the Jigsaw block, a block that you cannot obtain naturally in Bedrock Edition, but it exists nonetheless. This block is responsible for the generation of structures like villages and pillager outposts. All this power in my hand! I desperately need to find a way to hide all of my diamonds. I keep seeing the villagers eyeing them up, so I will use the next exclusive feature to do just that. In Minecraft Bedrock Edition, it is actually possible to move functional blocks like the chest, hopper, furnaces, and even a brewing stand by using pistons. This will make hiding my valuables so much easier. I swear this next feature did at one point exist in Java Edition, but I could be entirely wrong. In Minecraft Bedrock Edition, it is actually possible to craft a cobweb into 9 string. This makes those annoying cave spider spawners far better for gathering string than even the spider themselves. So next time you find yourself one of these spawners, be sure to grab all the cobwebs, but make sure not to get stuck in one. Ah, get away from me! I have just sheared all of my sheep, but now I cannot figure out which of them I have dyed and which one of them I have not. This is so frustrating! Well, in Bedrock Edition, the sheep will actually retain their wool color after they have been sheared, meaning you'll be able to see the pink color underneath their skin. Ah, this is much nicer. Ah, the ground is alive! Well, it looks like it anyways. Your trick is that the black blocks are higher up from the ground than the pink underlay, and are a few blocks tall. The perspective changes as you move, and glimpses of the pink can be seen peeking out from a flash of color. It's so distracting, you'll forget about all your problems. This house holds a massive secret. It looks like an ordinary basic Minecraft home, until you get a little closer and see that it's actually absolutely enormous. Each pixel is its own individual block, placed one by hand, until a whole block is created. Then it's copy and pasted to craft this house. Make your move speed extra fast to give the impression that this is a normal size house and you fly into it. Hopefully no giants live here. Oh God! Morning. When copper was revealed to the community, we all jumped with joy to finally get a new type of armor and new tools. And all we got was a weird brown rod. What does this even do now? Ow! 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 Thanks, Notch. Wasn't wearing an entire suit of armor. Dad! Wait, how did this happen? Originally, copper armor was meant to be attainable, until Mojang realized having the lightning rod be made of the same material as armor was perhaps a bit dangerous. It is so unfair. This poor group of pillagers are trying desperately to take on this village, but somehow they have 100 iron golems defending their base. Unfortunately for these pillagers, this rejected idea would have given them their own version of the iron golem, one that was instead meant to attack the villagers instead of defending them. Although they do have the Ravager now, so I think they win actually. The World of Color update really did add a lot of new opportunities to the game, but the different colors they added are kind of restrictive. You could either have pink wool or pink concrete. However, this next rejected feature would have seen various different colors of oak planks by having them be dyeable. Imagine having a house made of entirely bright yellow wooden planks. Perfection. Wait, hang on. These are just regular planks, like the one shown to get minecarts with infinite momentum, and you can quite literally have the most illegal railway in the game. You should always have a hoe that is enchanted with Fortune 3 when farming, which will allow you to quite literally triple the rate at which you can get food. For example, you can get up to 9 melon slices for each. Here's how to make your pond 10 times better super easily. With waterlogged blocks, you can create detailed rocks in your pond with stairs and slabs that add a little extra detail and even give you a cool way to get across. Next, instead of the normal boring lily pads we have, try creating your own using 4 drip leaves and some flowering azalea leaves to make a big colorful lily pad. You can also use a bamboo trapdoor with pink candles on top if you're living in the future. And lastly, if it's a really big pond you're trying to decorate, try doing something similar with drip leaves, lily pads, and azalea leaves to create a huge floating algae mat. It's kinda gross though, doesn't smell good either. Oh wait, that's just me, my bad. Back in the alpha days of Minecraft, there used to be way less blocks and almost no ways to properly decorate your builds. This meant people had to create their own solutions. Since trapdoors didn't exist, people used to glitch regular doors into looking like trapdoors by breaking the bottom half with a cactus, finally letting them actually decorate their world just as Notch intended. Speaking of golden apples, apparently there's always one single golden apple in this chest right here, and it's actually the key to a secret room in the ancient city. If you take it down here and eat it in this exact spot, this door will open. All that's inside is a bunch of redstone stuff I don't understand, but hey, it's true. And if we head back up, there's this huge abandoned portal looking thing right in the middle of the city. But have you actually seen anyone like this thing before? Here we go! It works! Let's see where it takes us. Oh, just the nether. Probably because this is actually just obsidian. This one's false. Apparently you can actually make 2 block jumps with cactus or fire damage. You just have to time it perfectly. together. But I did it! I've heard you can do it with a bubble column too. Oh yeah, that's way easier and much less painful. The Wither is definitely not the friendliest of mobs, but if you've always wanted to befriend the guy, there's a way! A secret April Fool's snapshot called the Love and Hugs update. Oh, so cute. Turns the Wither into a friendly pink mob that actually heals everything around it. Who knew he had such a soft side? I love you, Withy. That's his name. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but amethyst clusters and geodes actually produce light. It's not a very bright light, but if you wanted to create a bar with ambient lighting, it actually works pretty well. If you're looking for a creative way to get lots of colorful wool for your survival world, one of the best places to look is actually woodland mansions. As it turns out, these mansions can have up to 13 different colors of wool blocks inside of them. Just make sure you don't bring shears though. Let's be honest though, one of the best ways to protect your base is to just hide it really well. So next time you're feeling too lazy to set up tons of traps on your turf, try heading to a snowy biome and hiding it like this. Pick a random snow-covered block and place a few scaffolding below it. Then dig 2 holes either side, add a bubble elevator in one, and now you have an invisible base that you can even crouch around in to hide your name tag. That's if you can remember where you put it, which, let's be honest, I can't. Mobs have got way better at pathfinding compared to how they used to be, but they still have some issues. For some reason, they still don't see carpets as blocks. So if you fill a pit like this with them, you're totally protected from mobs. 2 tall flowers like sunflowers and roses work for this too. If you're like me and can never remember where you put your secret entrances, try this out. Shulker boxes are a great way to sort your items. But if I jump on top of this one and open it, suddenly I'm in my second secret base. For some reason, you can fall through shulker boxes if there's a block above your head, allowing for a perfect entrance that you can even color code and use as storage. Everyone knows zombies love turtle eggs, or hate them, I guess. But you can actually use this to protect your base. With just a single turtle egg and a trapdoor, you can create this super simple zombie trap that will kill every zombie nearby for you for almost no cost. Skeletons and strays also burn in the daylight like zombies, but they're deathly afraid of wolves. I guess skeletons are the best way to get bones. However, a little known fact is that both skeletons and zombies are weak to healing potions. Just 2 direct hits can insta-kill a skeleton in full diamond. Hoglins are massive, brutal creatures that are scared off by fungus? That's right, whenever these huge hogs go near a warped fungus, they'll immediately run the other way. The same goes for respawn anchors and nether portals. I guess they're scared of going through and turning into zoglins, which, by the way, are one of the only mobs in the entire game that doesn't have a weakness. They're immune to drowning and fire. I like to call this trick the drip leaf drop. A big drip leaf creates a platform that can hold you up, but it folds soon after. Grow one above a big pit and lead your friend over it. You'll trigger the fold and they'll fall right in. Hey! If your friend is online and you can access a house, play a really weird trick by building an upside-down version of their house on top of their regular house. It's a bizarre, mind-bending monument that will take time to remove, if they even want to. If your friend is a pet dog, a real sadistic trick is to replace it with your own. Hide their dog and name your own dog the same name. Then watch as your friend struggles, wondering why it won't listen to them anymore. You can even hit your friend and watch as they run screaming from the dog they thought was their best friend. Here's a defense hack that looks invisible. It's actually these azalea bushes, because apparently mobs don't know how to jump over them, even though you can. So if you want a safe house that doesn't look like a prison, this works great. Also, killing mob farms are great for items, but this hack lets you get the XP from it too. Just sit one of your dogs next to a non-fatal drop like this. They'll get that last hit, and you'll get the experience. What a great team up. Speaking of mob farms, it can be a hassle making them, especially in the nether. But if you're specifically trying to get Enderman, this high IQ hack can make it way easier. Enderman hates Endermite, so use them as bait above a hole, and the Enderman will drop right in for the easy killing. Sneak up on your friends while sprinting full speed with this trick. If you move to the absolute edge of a block so that the middle of your screen is above the next block over, the game will behave like you're on that block. If the block is empty, then when sprinting, you'll cause no noise or particles. There's a secret tech to throwing splash potions that make them last longer. The game tracks how much time the potion was flying through the air and extends how long the potion effects last. So don't just throw a potion on the ground, throw it into the air to get the most out of it. This house is on fire, but these slabs are completely unharmed. That's because they're made with the new petrified oak slabs. They look like oak, but petrified means they are like stone. They don't catch fire, you mine them with a pickaxe, and to make drum beats when put on a note block. Oh look, a free chest! But it's a prank! I can't open this chest because it's not a chest at all! This Steve Company supply crate was a joke block made in beta 1.4, and when you tried to open it, it would open a fake Minecraft store. This was a parody of the loot chest in Team Fortress 2, but of course later, Minecraft opened a real store. So, who's the joke on now? Did you know that you can tap into the ultimate power of the end crystal? This cool power generator design is built around an end crystal with stained glass to obscure or make it seem even more vibrant with power. Oxidized copper has an industrial yet sci-fi green color to really show its high tech. Just make sure you don't touch the— Did you know that you can use signs to hide secret messages without writing on them? They're a little taller than a block high, so you can put carpet on top of them and they poke through. Some people use this to make patterns, but you can use them to hide secret words and messages that most players will never notice. I bet you've always wanted a huge house plant, no? Well, too bad! If you put a lectern as the base of your plant and then build the greenery on top of that, then the stand of the lectern will have a thinner center. It breaks up the shape of the plant for a really fashionable addition to the home. I bet my neighbor isn't as cool as this, huh? Oh. Have you seen this crazy mob behavior when they swarm into the corners of a room? Put mobs into a small enough space and stuff a ton of them in there, and they'll crowd the corners so much that they'll merge their bodies together. They'll only move away to dart at high speed to one of the other corners. Everyone loves a good TNT attack, and this old bug lets you drop them on your enemies from above. Put them on fences above your target. When activated, they fall right through and land on whatever is below. I set mine up to protect my most prized possession, this painting of your mum. Look at this railway going up to nothing! This weird glitch is caused by a piston pulling the rail up from above. It lifts first, then breaks, causing the other rails to point upward toward it. Even though there's no block to rise onto, it still works as a rail too, letting you make crazy roller coasters with nothing to support it. Why do they go on this ride? It could break at any moment! This treehouse has the most bizarre staircase ever. If you ever want to make a natural-looking staircase, use trapdoors and slabs. This lets the staircase blend into the natural environment surrounding it. However, it does make the staircase slightly unbearable to climb. Armor stands are boring! However, I found a way to build an awesome base defense mechanism. By using a number of different blocks, you can build these amazing-looking statues to defend your house from any unwanted invaders. They are certainly a lot more imposing than anything else I've ever seen. Tables are kind of boring within Minecraft. You can either have this fence with a pressure plate on top, or this one. However, there is one way to build a table for your dining room that breaks the rules. Simply use trapdoors instead. This still makes the table look normal, but does not make it too big. What a lovely design. Starting out on any Minecraft world can be tough. However, did you know that technically every house you build breaks the rules? According to the official Minecraft handbook, your first house should always look like this. You are kidding, right, Mojang? I have been in this world for years and I still live in a rectangular wooden box. Getting caught in a raid can be a nightmare, but don't make the mistake of fighting off the enemies in open combat. Just dig down! In a 3-block hole, you can hit the Ravager, but it can't hit back. Wanna sneak fast? Use Swift Sneak correctly. If you sprint, jump, then sneak as you land, your Swift Sneak movement will actually be going 1 block faster every second than you would sneaking normally. If you find yourself in a cold biome and want to make a farm, you can! But don't make the mistake of using open blocks of water. Use waterlogged leaves instead, because these don't freeze like water does. Ladders take a lot of wood to make, and when you're exploring, you might make the mistake of wasting wood for no reason. Instead, grab a friend, get some shields, and start punching each other. The knockback can launch you 6 blocks into the air with some real speed. But what if you want to destroy your friend's server but do not have access to commands? Well, how about creating one of the buggiest and glitchiest builds possible? And the best part is, all you need is a load of wooden planks. By making a giant platform in the sky and then filling it with boats, you do 2 things. Firstly, by creating loads of boats, you will easily lag out the server. But it gets better, because when you eventually drop the boats, any mobs that have spawned in will be stuck in them, making getting rid of them so much harder. One of the best ways you can completely destroy your friend's Minecraft server actually presents itself as a harmless prank. When your friends log off for the night, you want to sneak over to their base and chop down all of their trees and steal all of their saplings. Wow, that alone is cruel. But you can take this prank one step further, simply by replacing all of their trees with nether trees. Not only do they look ugly in the overworld, but the fake leaves they have do not decay, forcing your friend to spend ages breaking and destroying all of them. Each Minecraft world generates a total of 128 end portals, and the chances of one of these being filled completely is 1 in 1 trillion. But wait, how lucky would you need to be to have all 128 filled? Well, a Redditor user pinned down the probability of that happening to this insane number. To get an idea of how crazy that is, this is much larger than the total number of atoms in the universe. How many spawners do you think you can find in one chunk? 2? 4? Or if you're lucky enough, maybe even 5? Nope, the correct answer is 8. On this specific seed, you'll find 7 zombie spawners and 1 spider spawn within a few blocks of each other. But that's not all! There is a village, trail ruins, a pillager outpost, and an ancient city, and these spawners which exist within a few thousand blocks of each other. How is this even possible? Chickens are already in Minecraft, and they are fine. But we want yet another feather friend added to the game, as once upon a time, Mojang were toying around with adding ducks into Minecraft. Ducks would have been an aquatic reskin of chickens that could swim, lay eggs, and occasionally give duck feathers. Unfortunately though, Mojang thought that ducks were not a great mob to be added. Duck! Excuse my language. Did you know that you can tame and ride a mob in nearly every biome? Horses can be used in just about any overworld biome. The Strider is the same within the Nether, and I suppose you can use a pig in either, if you're not in a hurry. But there is only one overworld biome that you cannot tame and ride a mob in yet, and that is, of course, the ocean, and this is for a very specific reason. Once upon a time, Mojang wanted to make dolphins tameable and rideable, and this was also going to be used to make underwater drowned jockeys where you would have saved the dolphin from its fate. However, this idea clearly was not enough for Mojang, as it was scrapped. One of the most terrifying animals from the deep blue is, of course, sharks, and people have been begging for sharks in Minecraft for years. However, their absence has been explained a lot by Mojang. Since Mojang do not want sharks to be entirely hostile, they would be passive until attacked, meaning that to get attacked by a shark, you would have to go looking for one. Mojang was reluctant to teach its player base to go looking for sharks in real life, and in order to maintain their age ratings across the world, they would not add in shark hunting to the game. Mojang has said they would never add this mob. However, once upon a time, they said the horse would not be added. So one day maybe. The Elder Guardian is a little bit underwhelming, and that is why this next mob has been requested a lot by the fans. To give some context, when the Elder Guardian was added, people were surprised at how easy the boss actually was. People were hoping that it would be a boss akin to the Wither or Ender Dragon, and that is why the ocean needs a new boss. The ideal candidate for this is, of course, the Kraken, a deep-sea squid that would attack players with its giant tentacles. And your spoils of war would, of course, be some delicious calamari. Yummy. Have you ever built a house in Minecraft with a lovely side garage for all of your manufacturing needs before realizing you cannot make a realistic looking door for your garage? Well, try this instead, as by using trapdoors, you can make a garage door that fits your build, although the functionality of this one is a bit more challenging. Cats are one of the best mobs in Minecraft. I mean, who wouldn't want a little furry companion to hang out with all the time? But cats in Minecraft never seem to get any cool updates. Thanks to this build hack, however, you can at least make them their very own cat tower. Aw, this looks so cute! Let me make one for my dog as well. If you are anything like me, you want to be as buff as possible, and thanks to this build hack, you can do this in Minecraft. By using some armor stands, end rods, black concrete, and a little bit of redstone magic, you can make yourself a realistic looking bench press in Minecraft. I hope I don't get too buff though. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Piggy. Most players eat a steak even if their hunger bar goes down by a single point. Doing this is super dumb and can even get you killed. The correct way to eat is actually to start with foods that restore low amounts of hunger, like carrots, and then move on to items like meat. This is because every food item in the game has a saturation value, which is the time it will take to have a hunger bar reduced. By doing this, you will never go hungry again. There's actually a secret way to breathe underwater without using a helmet enchanted with respiration. Everyone knows by now that you can place a door on the bottom of the ocean to make an air bubble. But if you only have blocks on you, one of the easiest options is to place a few like this, and then place a piece of sand in the middle, giving you an air bubble to breathe in. The other option is to build a conduit. That's gonna make you go bankrupt. There is, of course, one block that has become famous for exclusively being in the Pocket Edition of Minecraft, and that is the Nether Reactor Core. The Nether Reactor Core was implemented by Minecraft to tackle the problems mobile devices would have with generating the Nether. It was a very useful way of getting nether blocks despite how creepy it looked. I do not feel good about this. Since the aquatic update, there have not been many new features added to the oceans of Minecraft. Well, at least for Java Edition. In Bedrock Edition, Microsoft decided they would implement yet another adorable creature into the games when they added the baby dolphin. Why can't this be in Java too? It is so adorable. Everyone knows about Bedrock being called Bug Rock, and this is because Bedrock is a very buggy version of Minecraft. However, some of these bugs are technically features of Bedrock Edition, such as the fox having double the amount of health in Bedrock. This is most likely one of the many bugs plaguing Bedrock Edition. However, it could well be a feature. Watch out when looking at houses though, as some can look right back at you. This building has giant gaps built into it, which are dark on the inside, except for these activated redstone eyes that stare at you. And if you try to move to the side, the eyes will follow wherever you go. Stop following me! This building is a trap. Get too close to the wall and you'll slip right through into the void. One of the wall panels isn't actually there, and the insides are such a flat plain color that it tricks you into thinking it's a wall. Now I just have to find a way out of here. Uh-oh. This building is stretching! The black and white colors obscure shadows, so it becomes difficult to judge whether it's flat or mountainous. When moving toward or away from them like this, it gives the impression of swelling and shrinking like a living creature, pulsating in front of you. It's like a pulsating pimple. Makes me wanna pop it. This illusion makes you hallucinate. Stare into the black cross in the center of this image. Don't look away no matter what, and watch as this green cross starts circling the center. If you look away, you'll see it's just a pink crosses moving around in the other direction. When you focus on the center, your brain just has to fill in the gaps with what it thinks looks correct, and it can get completely tricked. The green cross is a hallucination. Are you a hallucination too? Time to hit the town for a shopping spree. Let's see, a fletching villager. Well, that makes sense. A librarian studying books. That also makes sense. A cleric selling an engineering component. Wait, what? Surely there must have been a redstone villager. Well, actually, it turns out, yes, there was meant to be a redstone villager. A villager who would only sell and accept redstone components and torches. The problem was the rest of his trades. It was very difficult to find a balanced way to get emeralds and trade them back to him without being insanely expensive or way too easy to obtain. Decorating in Minecraft is really difficult and frustrating. Imagine a world where your furniture could look like actual furniture. Now this is better. This was actually Mojang's original plan. However, at the time it was a lot more difficult to implement this, and Mojang had so many bugs to fix across their versions, so they just abandoned the idea, leaving it to amazing modders to make this. Time to kick back and watch some Mallow YouTube videos, where you should subscribe. It's out when it comes to scaffoldings and lets you jump on their edge. This means you can spam the spacebar and get all the way to the top super fast. However, this isn't limited to scaffoldings alone. You can do this with powdered snow too. And getting down is incredibly simple. Just hold crouch while you're on the edge. Bad idea. If you thought that it rains because of clouds, you're a noob. Above the first set of clouds you see is another set of clouds that you can't see. According to Notch, this gray area is actually where the rain actually comes from. What's even weirder is that the rain falls one block into the void layer. Yeah, this was definitely never meant to happen. I can't tell you the amount of times I've missed out on a shipwreck because of not being able to see through the damn ocean. However, this is easily fixable with a little bit of help. Back in 1.19, if you set your camera at just the right angle on the water surface, you could see through the entire ocean and find anything on the seabed.
But Mallow, isn't this technically X-ray?
What else did you expect, nerd? You will never believe what a sound design for gas. There's tons of ways to make supersized versions of different foods in Minecraft. Obviously, you can use a sea pickle for a melon or pumpkin stem, but you can also put a mangrove propagule on top of a mangrove log for a bulbous beetroot, a warped vine on some honeycomb for a peculiar pineapple, and a sea pickle on a nether wart block for a tomato. For extra farm decoration, you can add barrels full of berries by placing coral blocks above water surrounded by trapdoors. This works with raw iron to make potato barrels, and you can even try making a larger version with crimson planks below as a grape stomping barrel outside a vineyard. Looms are one of the weirdest looking blocks in the game, but you can actually use them to make empty bookshelves, escalators, air conditioning units outside buildings, and cool looking roofs for your house. And if it's a detailed bookshelf you're going for, 1.20 added this secret way to put a 3D book model on a shelf. Just add an armor stand under the block you want like this, and place a leather helmet with a white coast armor trim applied. Push a block down from above and it'll look exactly like a spare book left out on the table. We've all felt the disappointment of not receiving rainbow wool from a Jeb sheep, but apparently if you surround a wool block with 8 different dyes, you'll finally get it. Never mind, there's that disappointment again. My bad. But speaking of dyes, I was told that the white tulip doesn't actually give you white dye. The red, orange, and pink tulips all give you the right dye. But yeah, the white one doesn't. I absolutely love allays, and it turns out they're even better than I thought. Apparently, they're totally immune to our attacks while holding an item. If you punch them normally, they'll just run away. But if you throw them an item, literally nothing can hurt them. These things are just so cute. But allays aren't the only mob that can pick up items. Zombies and foxes can too. So let's try giving each of them a totem of undying and see if they can use them. Okay, zombies can, which is just terrifying, and foxes can as well. But what about allays? I feel truly horrible doing this, but let's try it out. Oh, thank God. I wouldn't have been able to live with myself. If you think placing water in the nether is impossible, well, you're wrong. On this specific Minecraft snapshot, Mojang messed up and accidentally allowed players to bring water into the nether. If you placed a piece of glow lichen in water, then sheared the glow lichen and silk touch, placing this piece in the nether would cause water to start flowing everywhere, allowing me to fulfill my dreams and create a water paradise. Okay, just joking, this is a texture pack. Foxes can hold items in their mouths, but they won't just hold the item. After a while, they'll attempt to eat it if it's a food item. This means foxes are able to teleport when eating a chorus fruit, and if they eat something like a suspicious stew, they'll actually gain the effect from that as well. Just about everyone knows that sticks are a terrible fuel source when it comes to smelting items. But if you're poor and that's all you have, I got you covered. Use a crafting table to turn them into ladders, which will make your sticks much more effective as a fuel source. Unfortunately, snowmen don't do damage to mobs with their attacks, but they will push them back and get their attention. If you spread a bunch of them out in tall towers around your base, it'll totally stop any mobs from attacking you and keep you safe. And if it's players you're worried about, try swapping a snowman out for a skeleton and adding fire around it to create a truly spicy surprise for any intruders. I think the most underrated item in 1.20 is the calibrated skulk sensor. When you place an amethyst block next to it, it'll relay any signal it gets to any other nearby sensors. Using this, you can create essentially infinite wireless redstone that's only activated by certain noises in certain places. So if I eat this piece of food here, sensors will relay the signal along and teleport me using this ender pearl status machine. This will make your base literally impossible to find. Even though they're a type of fish, I think, guardians won't actually suffocate when they're outside of water. However, they do bounce around like crazy, which can cause them to take full damage and die on land. If you don't know that zombies burn in the sunlight, then you might have to head back to Minecraft kindergarten. But zombies do have other weaknesses too. They're actually terrible swimmers, so if they accidentally wander into some water, they'll just sink to the bottom, suffocate, and turn into a drowned. When a husk drowns though, it will actually turn into a zombie first, and then into a drowned. They also don't burn in daylight, which doesn't make much sense, but hey, these things exist. What do I know? If your friend wants a nice oxidized copper roof, trick them by secretly waxing the copper blocks with honeycomb. They'll be waiting for days wondering why it's not turning that lovely shade of green. Check out this infinite lightning rod. If you can trap your friend in a room above one, see how long they can survive as lightning constantly strikes around them. Bring extra difficulty by dropping hostile mobs in with them. This deadly trick is devilishly simple. If your friend uses water to jump great distances, put a blue tinted block over the water. It totally blends in, and you can watch as your friend slams into it at full speed. Want to get your plants to stop growing so tall? Try this simple hack by placing string at the top. It will actually stop your plant from growing any further, and it's almost invisible. Perfect when you want to take a fancy picture without the bamboo blocking the shot. The sound of villagers waking you to the sound of their people can be great, but not if they all die during the night. So try this build hack to get them safe indoors. Spells can be activated with redstone, so just put a pressure plate by your bed, and when you go to rest, so will they. Do you need a protector for your base? How about a guardian with this simple hack? Put a guardian outside your home, and any player coming for your goodies will get blasted! Minecarts can fit almost any mob, including sniffers, ravagers, and even guests. That's a hell of a visitor when you send it down the rails to your friend's home base. Ever feel like a zombie horde is never ending? That's because it might be. Anytime you hit a zombie, it will look around and try 50 times to spawn a new zombie. It only has up to a 10% chance to succeed though, unless it's a leader! Then it goes up to a 75% chance of spawning the horde. Be careful where you put your beehives. If it's too close to the ocean, any bee that strays over the water can very quickly get disoriented and will eventually fall in and drown. People have lost entire bee colonies this way, so stay safe. The big sticky block of pure wax was accidentally added to Java Edition 1.15. It was later added along with bees and beehives, and were removed less than 2 months later. Can you imagine being the Mojang employee who messed that one up? But it's okay, we all make mistakes. The fabled cog or gear was the original version of redstone. It's unclear how they would be made, but you could place them on the side of blocks, and they looked super cool. Unfortunately, by the time redstone was made, cogs were completely abandoned. Just like what my parents did to me when they left me to be raised by wolves. I'm so glad those wolves on the internet, or I'd never have found out about Minecraft, so, you know. You used to be able to control how the whole world was generated. The customized world type was made to give you full control over world generation. You could decide the biome, the sea level, the structures, the ores, almost everything. It got replaced by buffet mode, which mixes the nether, end, and overworld. But I want a world made entirely from diamonds. That's okay, I made the world in creative mode, so there's nothing but diamonds. Wait, how do I make a pickaxe without a tree? I bet you've never seen a chicken coop more realistic than this. The chickens even lay eggs in real nests. Put water in a little pit with a wood slab in it. Add a picture frame with an egg attached, and then place a horn coral fan. The water keeps the coral alive and looking like a straw nest. Build a coop around it and fill it with chickens. Now that's realistic. Oh no, too real! Too real! I've frozen Steve in ice and won't let him go until I'm put in the Minecraft movie! Okay, it's not actually Steve. It's an armor stand with a full set of armor and Steve's head. Use pistons to push ice into Steve, encasing him completely. Now shh. The movie studio doesn't know it's fake. Put me in the Oh, I'm sorry, it's fake. I didn't mean it! Did you know that the fastest way to break a beacon is with your fists? That's because beacons don't react to any enchantment or to what tool you're using at all. I'm not sure why Mojang chose not to fix this, but breaking a beacon with an efficiency 5 pickaxe doesn't make it go any faster than ripping it apart with your bare hands. Either that or I'm just so incredibly strong! Oh, my hand. Gardens in Minecraft are kind of boring. You could have an amazing house but have a bad garden and it brings down the entire aesthetic of the house. So, how can you have brilliant lighting in your garden without placing torches everywhere? Instead, use glow lichen, a perfect block for lighting up your pathways whenever you do not want to line your pathways in torches or lanterns. And it's hidden from your sights unless you really look for it. Creating a lawn in Minecraft is normally done by just using grass blocks. However, if you want to bring some texture and color to your lawn, use this technique. By using moss blocks and grass blocks, you will create this golf course looking grass aesthetic. It certainly makes my lawn look a lot cleaner. Want to loot a desert temple? Do not forget your water bucket. It's really useful if you accidentally step on that central pressure plate. Dig through it to expose the TNT, then pour that water on top. The first TNT will explode, but won't damage anything, or ignite the other TNT. This trident with Riptide is great for the high jump, but a big mistake people make is using it in deep water. You actually do much higher jumps in a 1-block deep puddle. The Sniper Duel achievement can be really hard to get normally, but this is Minecraft. Get creative! Trap a skeleton in a hole, put a block above its head, shoot the block with arrows, put a sticky piston there, connect a switch 50 blocks away, pull the switch, the block moves, the skeleton dies, and you get your shiny new achievement. If you suck at PvP, there is one way that you can absolutely destroy any server filled with good PvPers, and all it takes is some potions. By brewing various invisibility potions and some harming 2 potions, you can easily kill your foes. But there are a couple of things you need to remember. First of all, you need to ensure while you are invisible, you walk and not sprint. This prevents any sound from being heard by your opponent. Then you want to make sure you hit at least 3 of the harming 2 potions on your foe, as this will do 18 hearts of damage. From there, you just hit them with a powerful sword a couple of times, and you have killed just about any good PvP player, unless they have a totem. This one does very heavily rely on the element of surprise. Everyone has heard of the legendary Mushroom Islands. These are the rarest biome in the game, with a 2% spawn rate. But there is something even rarer, this giant mushroom continent. And if you thought these grids are meant to show chunks, you're dead wrong, because this goes on for nearly 800 chunks. Hold on a second, why does it look like Australia? You've always heard people say that only noobs dig straight down because you're never gonna know where you're going. So how likely is it you die a horrible death? Well, according to Minecraft, 1 in 150, because this is the probability that you dig straight into lava. Wait, that's only a 0.67% chance! It can't be that bad. Somebody help me, for God's sake! Back in 2018, some players had the luck of a god and found 2 seas that had filled end portals. But some coders weren't satisfied with this and decided to take this one step further. By taking advantage of Minecraft world generation and some Einstein-level math, they increased the number of seeds to 65,534 on this site. For a long time, caves were boring until Minecraft introduced the Caves and Cliffs update. But to me at least, caves have once again become a bit dull. However, I believe that this next mob could change that. This is the Ghost Miner, a mob that Minecraft actually considered adding for quite a while into the game. These Ghost Miners would have been found underground and could have brought you to secret loot, dungeons, or even ancient cities, meaning this would have been arguably the most useful passive mob in existence. They could have also added a corrupted version for the ancient cities that were hostile. Since it did not make footsteps, it wouldn't have alerted the warden, but you attacking it could have. We have polar bears in Minecraft, and we have pandas in Minecraft, so why do we not have variants of bears for forests? The obvious choice would be to add in bears like the grizzly bear or the black bear, but there are so many more options that could be added. Well, I do actually know the reason these weren't added. Since polar bears and pandas are incredibly hard to find, Mojang do not need to worry about people going up to these animals thinking they are safe. However, grizzlies and black bears are actually relatively easy to find in real life. But I'll be honest, Mojang is really overthinking this one. I'm a vivid camera enthusiast myself, but I feel like Minecraft never really met my photography needs until I found this build hack. As you can actually build a camera in Minecraft. Now I can finally reenact my favorite movie scenes. Wait, no, not that one! Every time my friends come to visit me in Minecraft, I can never find a space for them to sleep in. Thanks to this build hack though, I will always have a bed for my friends whenever they come over. By placing a bed and adding some signs and trapdoors to the side of it, you can make this authentic looking sofa bed or futon. futon. Now all of my friends can come and hang out. Oh, wait, that's right. Villager lampposts are so boring! Let's change that. Thanks to these 4 incredibly unique designs, you can make your village feel a little bit more modern and decorated than it did before. Wait, no, your village is lovely, I promise. I've finally finished building my desk, and it's time to sit back and get some work done. Oh, wait, I forgot to build the chair. Well, thanks to this next build hack, I can build myself a lovely-looking gaming chair for my desk. By using an iron bar, some trapdoors, a carpet, and a unique banner, you can make this amazing-looking gaming chair. It is a little bit solid, though. Not very comfortable. 4 out of 10. Something that you never knew was that TNT is affected by weapon enchantments. For example, if you use a flame-enchanted bow to light up a block of TNT with a looting item in your offhand, you can farm tons of drops instantly. This can be especially useful in farming music discs. What do you think is the best way to find ancient cities? Dig straight down like a noob? Noob! Ancient cities always generate at any level of -52 and are most likely to be found under a mountain. Books are immensely useful in both versions of the game. You can leave funny notes for your friends, blackmail villagers, and sometimes even completely destroy a server. Books have truly infinite possibilities. However, Bedrock Edition doubles the usefulness of these books, since whenever you open up a book in Bedrock Edition, it will have 2 pages! Tridents are one of the most fun weapons within Minecraft. Not only being able to launch you into the sky, but also being able to summon lightning strikes against your enemies. But why can they not be fired out of dispensers? Well, actually they can, just not in Java. Since in the Bedrock Edition of Minecraft, you can fire these weapons out of dispensers at light speed. Take that, zombies! Did you know that Bedrock is actually a harder game? Well, sort of, since in Bedrock Edition, your chance of finding various structures, items, and generations are considerably lower than in Java. For example, jungle pyramids in Java have a 42% chance of spawning in a jungle. However, in Bedrock, that chance is only 21%. This feels a bit unfair. Some people have a fear known as leporiphobia, also known as the fear of rabbits. And if you have this fear, then you should probably look away now, since in Minecraft Bedrock Edition, there is actually a giant rabbit! By typing this command, you can actually summon a rabbit that is considerably larger than any other rabbits within Minecraft. These lines are totally straight, no curves or bends at all, but you can definitely see the curves, right? The contrast of black and white makes it look like the lines are bent according to the direction the black sections are pointing to. Curse my eyes, I knew I shouldn't trust them ever since I saw my dad tell me he's proud of me. It turned out to be an old homeless man with dementia. I've got the biggest crafting table ever in Minecraft! It's literally 4 times bigger than a normal table. At least from this angle it is. Because the square on the floor gives you a frame of reference for how big things are. So if you put a crafting table in the right position in the air in front of that grid, it will line up with the squares and look like it's actually on the ground. I'm so proud of making this illusion. It's made me feel 20 feet tall. Rah! Bow before me, tiny villagers! Redstone can be used in 2 different ways. You are either a genius who can create a working computer in Minecraft, or you place a button next to a note block. This next rejected Minecraft idea would have brought an entirely different level to redstone engineering. The timer block would have given off a redstone pulse after the timer had reached 0. This would have been amazing for setting up traps and then messing with your friends. Minecraft's food solutions are kind of boring. The only food in the game you can actually place is a cake, and then eat it too. However, did you know that originally the pumpkin pie was intended to be a placeable block similar to the cake? It would have worked the same way as the cake, where you take a couple of slices at a time until your hunger is full. I am honestly not sure why Mojang never implemented this. Step right up, come and try for your prize. We have iron horse armor, diamond horse armor, gold horse armor, and a regular boring saddle. Well, those prizes hardly seem fun. I wish there was a different type of saddle. Well, originally there would have been. Before they decided to make horse armor, they were originally planned to be different saddle types. Instead, now we get the same regular boring saddle. A waterlogged leaf block on top of a fence, or walls look suspiciously like a globe.
But Mallow, the Earth isn't square!
Well, actually, pow! See? Think building like a pro is difficult? Think again and watch this. If you're building walls like this, you're doing it all wrong. Instead, grab some blocks that are similar and scatter them around a bit. You can use stairs to add extra depth and even add patterns in front to make it extra interesting. And just like that, you're leveling up your building super easily. The same goes for floors, both inside and out. Spending a couple minutes making a block palette can add tons of detail, like adding beehives in with oak planks, brown mushrooms in with mud, and moss in with grass outside. Apparently, you can repair iron golems. If you see one all cracked up after a fight, you should be able to take some iron ingots and right-click on it. Hey, yeah, it fixes it right back up. That's super cool. I recently learned you can place beds underwater. But what's the point if you can't sleep in it? I mean, surely I can't hold my breath down here for 8 hours. Oh. I guess I can. Okay, but obviously that doesn't work under lava. What the hell, Mojang? In real life, people think coal and diamonds are both made out of the same thing. This means that if you apply enough pressure, like with a piston, you can literally turn coal into diamonds. And surprise, surprise, it doesn't work. Probably because it's not even true in real life. It's a myth there too. Double busted. It's been forever since we got a new note block sound, but apparently Mojang secretly added a new one just recently. All you have to do is place them on top of an iron block and right-click them 64 times each. Then when you activate them, oh god, why? In Minecraft Bedrock, zombified piglins have a very small chance to spawn into the other world when a nether portal is first lit, which can make for a very scary surprise. Some players, however, have capitalized on this to make overpowered piglin farms that give infinite gold and resources. When you load an arrow or firework rocket into a crossbow, it'll update the icon to your hotbar to let you know which one it has in it. But if you drop the crossbow on the ground, the crossbow no longer shows what item it has in it, at least until you pick it up again. So try not to drop your firework crossbow into a pile of normal ones. Okay, let's be honest, no one is doing it. You should know that if you're playing on hard mode, a door probably isn't enough to keep you safe from zombies. So instead, try placing 2 end rods like this as a door instead. You can slide through perfectly, but mobs have a really hard time. And if end rods aren't your style, this works with bamboo, different kinds of fences, and even lightning rods. But I'll be careful using these in bad weather. These do have a slight drawback though, as if you manage to anger enough mobs, it can push each other through. So for an entrance that's almost foolproof, add a line of cobblestone walls with some carpets on top. Not even spiders can get past. Cave spiders are of course a little more dangerous, but if you bring some milk with you to the mineshaft, these things are basically useless. Still scary though. Creepers are even scarier though. I've played this game for over 10 years now, and I still get freaked out whenever one jumps me in a ravine, but they do seem considerably less scary when you see them run away like babies from cats and ocelots. And it's the same for piglins too. These things are terrifying when they're attacking you in big groups, but if you chuck down any blue light source like a soul torch or campfire, they just kind of flop around and wait for it to be over. They're also scared of zoglins and zombified piglins, which I think is fair. If I saw a zombified version of myself, I don't think you'd ever see me again. This boat is actually a trick. When you get in, it explodes into as many boats as you want. To make it, just pour a ton of boats into a hopper that drops into a dispenser on repeat. It will place boat after boat after boat into the same spot on the water. Then you should break the machine apart and watch the chaos from afar as your friend tries to get in. A dirty trick to swipe their goods is to hide a hopper underneath their furnace. Their new smelted ingots fall right into your evil clutches. Keep those stolen goods out of sight by hiding them in chests. These actually have a limit on how far they can be before the game stops showing them. So if you put them all the way to the top of the sky above the clouds, your friend will never find what you took. Check this hack that lets you fly at the side of this building. It's not a potion or elytra, it's actually a hidden bubble stream on the other side of these honey blocks. The honey is small enough that you can still use the stream. And if you want to hide the honey, just cover them in item frames with maps on top. This farm hack is actually brilliant because even when you're not there, none of the sugar cane will fall out or despawn, because the cane is actually standing on mud. Mud is a smaller block, and items pass right through it. So using that with a hopper underneath, all the sugar cane will land where it needs to. If there's a crazy looting glitch that lets you get the extra rewards of the looting enchantment even when the tool you're using isn't enchanted. If you have a sword with looting in your main hand, a regular bow in the other, enemies killed with the bow will give extra items. Everyone knows cats always land on their feet, but did you know that in Minecraft they also take no damage from a fall? This is based on cats' real-world ability to survive crazy falls. Some have even fallen out of a plane without a parachute and lived to tell the tale. Go beyond the end of the world with this command. It's a secret teleport destination that will put you on the other side of the world border. But be careful, because the moment you pass that border, you'll be taking real damage. At one point, Mojang planned to add a red dragon? According to Jeb, this dragon was meant to hatch out of the Ender Dragon's egg. However, the idea was scrapped in 2014. But I don't believe that, so I'll be sitting on my dragon egg to keep it warm. This update will come any day now. I can feel it! This is really hurting my bum. How do chickens do it? Have you ever seen meat this big? This mangrove block is red on the inside. Put it above a campfire, connect it with lightning rods to a stone fence so it looks like it's spit roasting. Add end rods to look like bones sticking out. Oh, it looks so delicious. I'm gonna take a bite. Ow! It tastes like wood! This super slim ladder can fit in any home. You can actually put the ladders on the side of a trapdoor, but this hack stacked them on top of each other all the way to the ceiling for an extra slim ladder. Just don't use the door when I'm on it, okay? Ah! This spooky hack lets you make a world full of dead trees and wilting grass. The tree trunks are made with fence posts, and the leaves are mangrove roots. The grass isn't grass, it's podzol. See? It's all fake! There's nothing dead here! A stained glass block with a trapdoor on top and a tripwire hook on the front looks just like a lemon lemonade dispenser. Build a lemonade stand around that, with plant pots for cups to look super convincing.
Oh, selling lemonade on my turf, are ya? Nobody sells on Big J's turf.
If you're being barraged with arrows, don't worry about it. Sleep it off, because when you're in bed, your hitbox is absolutely tiny. It's just this small box at your head, so any arrows hitting elsewhere pass right through. Wake me up when you skeletons can aim properly. Ow! Did you know that double chests actually have a tiny gap in the center? It's just a few pixels wide because it's the actual hitbox gap between the two chests that was set down. This means you can punch through the gap, shoot through the gap, and they'll pass right through. This is where I hide my secret cake button. That gives me cake. Here, I'll press it, and hey, where's my cake, you greedy pig? The only plant in Minecraft that grows on a wall is a cocoa bean. However, in a lot of house gardens, this can look a bit wrong. What you should be doing instead is mixing in redstone ore with the wall, and then covering it up with vines. This creates this incredibly unique hanging roses design that certainly no one at Mojang ever planned. Unfortunately, mirrors cannot be added into Minecraft. This is largely due to how Minecraft runs, and mirrors can really affect that. However, some players have taken it upon themselves to create a slightly different illusion to create mirrors and reflective surfaces, rebuilding the entire room as a reflection. This works really well for any reflective floors and breaks the rules that there are no mirrors in the game. A big mistake is to not keep up with what's changed in game updates. In version 1.18, they even changed the way diamonds spawn. It used to be that diamonds mostly showed up between depths 5 to 12, but now you'll find them showing up more and more all the way down to bedrock. A mistake that has taken millions of lives is digging under sand and having it fall on your head. The best way to avoid dying is to put a torch under any falling blocks. Any sand or gravel that falls on the torch breaks instantly. You should hide at night to protect yourself from monsters, right? Well, not if you're on the rare mushrooms biome. It would be a mistake to waste those nighttime hours because hostile mobs just don't spawn on mushroom biomes unless there's a monster spawner. One mistake is not getting a cat. It turns out creepers hate cats and will run if there are too many around your home. Plus, look how cute they are. Aww. Stop using powered rails. They're expensive and unnecessary. If you really want that speed boost, saddle up a pig and put it in the rail cart. No, I'm serious. Riding the pig in the minecart while pushing forward lets you move almost as fast on normal rails as you would on powered ones. Using a furnace for your food is a big mistake. Use a campfire. It doesn't need any fuel, and even if the fire gets put out, you can use a silk touch shovel to recover it, and the fire will be lit again. It's so easy to get lost in Minecraft. It even happens to me sometimes. But if you make a banner, name it using the anvil, then use the map on it, it'll show up on your map, plain as day. Now I just have to find my anvil to get started. Where did I put that? Have you ever wanted to ruin your friend's base with nothing but an annoying noise? Well, there are a few mobs in Minecraft that can make some pretty annoying noises. First up, you have creepers and their hissing noise, but this may be a little too destructive for a harmless prank. There are also bats, but they despawn way too frequently. There is one more mob above all of these that can be a real pain for all of your friends, the goat. If you hide enough goats underneath your friend's base, they will scream non-stop. If you hide them well enough, then your friend may not be able to find them, turning their house into a horror movie. There is a way to crash a Minecraft server using the player inventory and a single command. By running the command /give player stake 999999, you can overflow their inventory, causing 997,695 stakes to be dropped on the floor, and this would crash literally any Minecraft server due to the sheer amount of stakes being dropped. Minecraft has to figure out a value for each and every stake and give it an animation too, and as such, this will overload the CPU of the server and destroy it. Pink sheep are one of the rarest mobs to exist in the game with a spawn rate of 0.164%, but most people have still managed to discover these easily. Only true OGs know about the baby pink sheep, which is 20 times as rare with a spawn rate of 0.0082%. Yeah, if you manage to find this, you deserve infinite emeralds. If you manage to get the same seed twice in Minecraft, you should go be doing something else with your life because you're pretty lucky. Actually, pretty is the worst way to describe it since it is mathematically impossible at a chance of 1 in 7.9 times 10 more than 28. How could this many zeros even exist? You're a massive noob if you thought tall grass was a common block. It's actually as rare as a heart of the sea. You just don't realize it. This is because neither shears nor silk touch works on tall grass, and you can only obtain them through chests in savannah villages. The worst part is that you can find one of these in 2.2 chests. So to fill a double chest, you'll have to scavenge 7,600 villages. Is this a mistake or a horrible horrible decision, huh, Mojang? The bad decisions don't end there, though. Large ferns which have a 3% chance to spawn on a block are only found in spruce villages, spawning only 18.6% of the times. Are you a fan of mining but hate the long and difficult journey down into your mine? Well then, build this compact staircase. This staircase has two amazing designs that will make your life so much easier. Simply place a trap door at the top and then go down to the bottom of your staircase and place a block of water. By doing this, you have a quick way down by dropping into the water, and you also have an easy way to come up when you are finished in the mines. In the upcoming release of Minecraft 1.21, we are going to be getting a really cool new functional block called the Crafter. And believe it or not, this block can be used to make some really cool designs, such as this really cool looking wall trim. And the best part is, you can expand on this design simply by making sure that the crafters are fully operational. Talk about function and beauty. I love emeralds, but finding them is incredibly difficult. However, there is a way to get an infinite supply of them by literally using dirt. Turn 3 of these bad boys into mud by using water and use a dripstone to turn them into clay. Now you've found yourself an infinite money glitch when trading with the stone mason. Bedrock has one of the weirdest world generations out of any version of Minecraft. However, this first generation feature I could have sworn was exclusive to mods. In Bedrock Edition, there is a chance that when you spawn into a forest of any kind, you will find a log on the ground, almost as if a tree has fallen over. Why this didn't exist in Java Edition, we may never know. It seems that at one point, Microsoft were considering changing up the item pool for Bedrock Edition, as there are numerous textures that were exclusively found within the Bedrock Edition of Minecraft. These textures include things like a camera, chalkboard, and a weird blue textured rose. These features were never fully implemented, but they were exclusive to Bedrock Edition for a while.
Ever felt up is down and left is right? Which way is forward if every wall is a floor to walk on? This MC Escher-inspired room is super disorienting, where everywhere you look makes you think it should be the right way up. Make a little tower to stand at the exact center of the room, and it feels like you're in zero gravity. Oh no, I'm floating away! Help! Help! Colors aren't real. They're an invention of your own mind, tricking you. Look at this center dot. Keep focused on it, but be aware of the colors around it. Because you're focused on the center, your brain keeps less track of the grass on the outside. So when the pattern color changes, the grass does too! My brain has been inventing colors this whole time.
Being in the ground at night is so much safer than being above ground. There are less places for enemies to spawn, and more places for you to hide. However, imagine a world where this was perhaps not the case. If this rejected idea had gotten into the game, caves could have been far more terrifying. Ghost miners are intended to be added into Minecraft to be an exclusively underground enemy for you to fight, able to slide through walls while slowly approaching you. I do not like ghosts. People often wonder why it took Mojang 5 years to add in a new overworld biome, and it is because of this rejected Minecraft idea. Originally, Mojang were working on a giant redwood forest biome. This most likely would have come out at some point around 2020, or perhaps even replaced a biome like the giant tree taiga. I certainly hope Minecraft brings this back one day. The most useful chests in Minecraft is certainly the ender chest, but sometimes it feels way too small, and as though there is never enough room for all of my valuable items. If this next rejected idea had been made, you would have said bye to all of your storage issues. Expandable ender chests were originally planned up around the same time as the End Islands update, as Mojang wanted players to be able to transfer important blocks from one location to another. However, Mojang decided that the best way to do this would be through shulkers as opposed to expanding an ender chest. Came from everyone's favorite Minecraft songmaker, C418, had a cat that often made disturbed noises while it slept. But during the development phase, he thought that these noises would be the perfect tracks to use for the guests. No wonder they seem so disturbing. For years, Mojang has been fixing thousands of bugs, but there is one that is detrimental to the entire game. What is it, you might ask? Cookies don't have sugar in their crafting recipe! I would actually be better off eating cement laced with TNT gunpowder than cookies without sugar. Is that even a cookie at that point? For this one, I want you to look at the sun very closely. Hey, no, not in real life! Not just some crazy ideas back in the day. From a red dragon to a sky dimension, there was one change that was so weird, no one could have guessed why it was even implemented. I'm talking about Notch's decision to make the sun round. In fact, he did exactly that for one beta pre-release. Weird decision for a game based on literal cubes. There is only one thing worse than a zombie with a weapon. A zombie with 2 weapons! Or actually 2 pieces of armor in this case. Because of a bug in 1.8.9, all mobs that could wear armor began holding it in their hands instead. But the weirdest part is that they would only hold leggings and boots. Wait, so does that mean they don't have pants on? The skeleton just got a million times scarier. You've never paid attention to this, but there is something horribly wrong about buried treasure chests. For starters, they generate. Did you know that mob heads fit perfectly on top of wall blocks? Skeleton skulls also match really well with andesite or diorite walls, zombie skulls with mossy cobble, and wither skulls with deep slate walls. I don't know what you could use this for other than making gravestones, but hey, you again! Stop taking my job! The nerve of some people. Anyway, ever wanted to play pool in Minecraft? Well, you can't, sorry to disappoint. But you can make a pretty cool looking pool table by placing signs like this underneath green carpets and then surrounding it with trapdoors. But for a build hack you can use, try building this hammock. Hook it up using fence gates on the side, then attach some stairs, trapdoors to place the bed on, and some signs to complete the shape. You can even change the bed color to match the wood type for peak color coordinated comfort. Banners can be used to add illegal levels of detail in builds, so they're not just for marking maps or making a crappy coat of arms. Take Nick's J-Man's incredible train build he made using banners to perfectly match the real-life version. If people are literally making real trains now, what's your excuse? Camels look just delightful when they're walking around. Yeah, look at their little ears, I love them. Apparently cauldrons can totally absorb full damage. If they're filled with water, surely I won't die. Oh, okay, what if I actually try to get in the middle? Well, even that doesn't work! I literally fell into water. Fine, if that doesn't work, what if I try without water? It works! They even bounce you. Crazy, right? I'm just kidding, these are slime blocks. Tricked you though, didn't I? Whenever you try to run underwater, you just get put into the swimming animation. But apparently this changes when you run on mud. Hey, it's true. I think this is because mud is just a little bit shorter than a regular block, so it should work with soul sand too, right? Oh wait, bubbles, yeah. I'm not smart. Does blowing up ores give you XP? I know it gives you 100% of the resources now, but I've never dared to mine diamonds with it. Oh yeah, it does give XP. I think I'll stick to my pickaxe though. This just feels wrong. Apparently you can't spawn withers in snowy biomes. Yeah, snowy taiga, frozen peaks, and even snowy beaches don't work. Wait, what if you break the snow layers below? Ah, there, myth busted! It works. I should probably run away now. According to this myth, there's actually a time where looking in an enderman's eyes is a good idea. Obviously, they became aggressive when you first look at them, but from now on, whenever you lock eyes, they'll freeze completely in place. I don't know what you do from here, but hey, this myth is true. Most players beat the ender dragon by taking out all the crystals and then hitting it with a sword. But excuse you? I watched Dream back in the day, and not only have I seen his face before he put the mask back on, but even I know that you can skip this process entirely by waiting for the dragon to perch and then using beds to blow it up. Take that, American military! Cactuses are able to destroy items when thrown at them, but they are the only block that can do this. Dropping an anvil on some items from 4 blocks or higher will instantly destroy those items. Pretty cool. The invisibility potion is great for hiding from your friends, also sneak past mobs, but for some reason, villagers will still look at you, even if you're completely invisible. The same thing happens with enchanting tables, so if you're trying to spy on your friends, make sure a villager don't snitch on you. Now think about it, if you can remove all the mobs in your world, there's no need to protect your base. So how on earth do you do that? Well, as usual, Lamango has a solution. If you create this super simple warden farm, you can use note blocks to lure dozens of wardens into this prison with a vine inside. Eventually, so many wardens will spawn that it prevents any mob from spawning anywhere in the entire world. However, this is terrifying, and there's a much easier way to get basically the same effect. Simply grab a boat and spend some time looking for a mushroom island. Other than the deep dark, which has other problems, this is the only place mobs won't spawn naturally. And it's the perfect backdrop to build an awesome fantasy base. They can be quite hard to find, but you can always use a seed map if you're feeling devious. Somehow, even chickens have enemies, just only in certain biomes. Chickens in tiger biomes have to be on the lookout for foxes on the prowl, while jungle chickens get hunted by ocelots. Chicken jockeys, however, actually have a huge weakness almost nobody knows about. For some reason, the AI for them thinks there's only one block tall, and will sometimes run into small holes in caves, causing the zombie to suffocate and die. Idiot. Oh crap! Shulkers are annoyingly hard to kill with their armor and ability to teleport, but we can actually use this against them. If you place water where a shulker is sitting, it'll teleport away immediately, leaving you free to loot up the end city in peace. Everybody knows that spiders are weak to bane of arthropods, but I guarantee you've used it so little you didn't know that hitting a spider with it doesn't just deal extra damage, but also gives it slowness 4, rendering them almost totally harmless. And by the way, Bane of Arthropods 5 is so powerful it can one-hit a spider on a wooden sword. Why does nobody use this? Try this spooky trick with your good friend Johnny. Name tag a Vindicator with that name, and they go nuts, killing shooting everything they see. Turn them invisible and set them loose in the neighborhood. First, your friends will see animals dying. Then suddenly they'll start getting hit as Johnny turns on them. Hide behind a tree and play a goat horn to add scary sound effects. If your friend is showing off their riches with shiny gold blocks, play this funny trick by replacing them with yellow concrete blocks. See how long it takes for them to notice. Use an anvil to change their name, and you can replace the blocks they hide in their chest too. Do you want to remove the hostile mobs from your survival world? Try building a mob switch. This hack lets you do it quick and easy, just using villagers. If you trade with one, then zombify them, they won't despawn, and count toward the amount of hostile mobs in the area, so no extra ones will appear. This simple hack lets you turn minecarts into two-seaters, with speed you can control. It turns out you can actually put a boat in the minecart and have it still work. The boat can fit 2 people, and when you row it, it actually changes the speed of the minecart, letting you go faster! This mushroom is a light source. It may not look it, but the brown mushroom is generating the lowest light in the game, light level 1. Before glowberries, it might have been the only food that could glow. In fact, this is actually based on real mushrooms that glow in the dark. In the Java edition, you can use rail tracks to block mobs completely. Certain enemies like zombies and piglins will not cross the rails, unless they're a phantom and fly over it. Check out this sick grappling hook made entirely in-game. You just use a bunch of command blocks. It checks that you launched a fishing bobber, drags you toward it, removes the bobber when you reach it, and even stops you when you hit a wall for a perfect grappling hook experience.
Remember the Farlands? You can't get to them now as they've been blocked off with end-of-world barriers, but back before Beta 1.8, you could go so far from spawn that the world fell apart. Numbers became impossible, and infinity became reality. You'd fall through the world as the fabric of reality tore itself apart. That sounds too scary for me. Good thing there's nothing scary in modern Minecraft. Minecraft used to spawn you with every item in the game. You would start in a place called Indev House, made of mossy cobblestone, full of chests with every block and item in the game, free to use at your leisure. But once the survival testing began, humanity was cast out into the cold and the dark. I'm sorry, Mojang, what did we do to deserve this? Aside from writing swear words out of diamond blocks. Potion making used to be easy! Just fill a cauldron with water, slap in some ingredients, and scoop out a bunch with a bottle. Voila! Instant potions ready to use. Now we have to use a brewing stand with its blaze powder and its spiral tubes. Why can't I brew potions like a wicked witch in a hut cursing children with invisibility? Instead I have to act like a hipster brewing homebrew drinks that nobody wants. Look at this little baby temple for little baby treasures. It's made of all the same materials taken from a desert temple, and buttons are used for the details and patterns that are normally made with whole blocks. Let's climb inside and get those treasures. Oh wait, a little baby TNT. Oh god, I'm gonna die! This hack uses dark and light wood signs surrounded in wood frame to make a pool table. Put green carpet over the signs and only the top can be seen, looking like pool cues. Now, if only I had friends to play with. Swing got a real swing that actually swings! This uses a secret minecart underground with powered rails angled up on either end of the swing distance. The minecart has a boat in it with a bunny and a strider, both with leads attached to the posts built around the swing. Put a saddle on the strider and then turn it invisible as you ride it. The saddle looks like it's actually swinging by the leads. I hope I haven't made this too fast. Ah! This automatic fireplace magically knows when you're around. Skulk sensors in the floor activate dispensers with flint and steel in them. They light netherrack blocks that burn and light the room. Then when you leave, another sensor activates the dispenser with water inside, putting out the fire as you leave the room. Wait, why did it turn on? Is there a ghost in here? Check out this zombie that's obsessed with this villager, maybe even in love. Once a zombie targets a villager, it's all they will think about. That's now their soulmates, and they just want to infect them so they can be zombies together. Even when other villagers are available and their target is blocked away, the zombie just cannot give up. It's true love, but he is scaring the other villagers, so I gotta kill him.
Have you ever wanted a house that your friends will never find? Well, thanks to the giant mushroom, you can hide your entire base within this small mushroom, and then everyone will just stroll on by and would never know you were there. The perfect hiding spot! And if you are lucky enough to find the mushroom island, it is completely mob-proof too. My garage in Minecraft is very, empty. However, thanks to this build hack, I can create a car within my garage. Unfortunately, it is a little bit expensive to do. Simply use slabs, a minecart, and some signs, and you can create the body of your car. The best block to finish off the wheels is definitely the wither skull. Sheesh, time to go gathering, I guess. This next build hack breaks the golden rule in Minecraft, using stairs for your roof. However, you should be using walls instead. It makes this really interesting and different style to your roof. Despite everyone using stairs for the past 10 years, I may consider giving this a go. Don't panic! Really, don't panic when a creeper is coming, or TNT is ready to explode. Just put some blocks down in front of you and you'll take way less damage. It's so much fun finding buried treasure, but where is it? I'm at the X. Everyone Everyone makes a mistake of just guessing the X exactly as pointing, but you might be off by a few blocks. So to be absolutely sure, look at the coordinates in the chunk selection. The treasure will always spawn at 9-9 for that chunk. It should be straight down. The nether is where mistakes can be deadly. It's very easy to catch fire, and water disappears instantly. Or does it? The big mistake people make is not bringing a cauldron and buckets of water. Even in the nether, water in a cauldron will not disappear. So when you catch fire, put yourself out with this cool trick. In Minecraft 1.13 pre-6, there was a super rare bug where you could get 3 chests with a single double chest. That might sound crazy, but hear me out. This glitch only happened in woodland mansions when a double chest spawned on a chunk boundary. Because of some weird game mechanics, the chest would get split into 2 sides, one that acted like a double chest and one that was a single chest. To date, there are only a total of 3 known seeds where this happened. This bug should have stayed! The icy biomes in Minecraft desperately need more mobs. Currently, the only native land mob in the icy biomes is the polar bear. However, thanks to this genius build hack, you can actually add a brand new mob to your icy biomes. By using 2 blocks of black concrete, some banners, and a red sandstone slab, you can create this penguin for your world. Unfortunately, though, it does not really do much. It just kind of stands there? Will you stop staring at me? Slumbified piglins are the most annoying mob to deal with in the game, mainly because you get an army of them chasing you even if you hit one accidentally. The fix for this is surprisingly easy though. All that's required is a weapon strong enough to one-shot the piglins. Even if it's a stone axe with smite 5, it'll do the job. But if you're a real baller, you could even use the netherite sword. Curing villagers can be an incredibly boring and tedious task, but with this technique, you can cure them all the while you abuse heal them. This is possible if you enchant a crossbow with piercing 4 and use a tipped arrow of weakness. While you might feel inhumane doing this, it's much better than the old-fashioned way of using weakness potions. Plus, the arrow can be reused as many times as you want. You might already know that fireworks make you go as fast as Sonic on an elytra. But if you want to troll your friends, give them a firework star since it looks exactly like a normal firework and deals damage too. Maybe you'll even see them light up the night sky with their body. It's time you stop using diamonds to craft items directly. Ever since the 1.20.2 update, diamonds are now 65% more common, which means finding them is gonna be really easy. We can leverage this to trade with toolsmiths to get emeralds and then use these to buy tools. More often than not, the tools you buy will already come enchanted, which saves you a ton of suffering rather than if you made it normally. This is one of my most favorite strategies to ever exist. Most players already know that Endermen are 3 blocks tall and can easily be trapped. But did you know the same applies to wither skeletons? They are 2.4 blocks tall, meaning if you place blocks at exactly the right position, you can now become a skeleton killing machine.
Let's hide in this massive tower. Oh, but the walls are closing in. Or at least it looks that way, as these straight lines and bands of color make the walls seem like they're bending inwards as you look up at the ceiling. We're safe as can be, as long as I remember to close the door. I'm tired of this. I need to get out of here. And he said, am I in heaven? This place has no walls, no doors, no grass or sky. Just a void, some seats, one for me and one for you. This endless world must be an illusion, right? But I can't see a way out. We're both stuck here. Until you subscribe! I guess we're gonna be here for a while. Have you ever seen items chase you down? I put my useless and wanted blocks down this shaft with a ladder to the bottom, in case I wanted to pick them up again. But the items won't stay still. They climb the ladder if there's nowhere else to go, and refuse to be kept inside this little hole. Stay down there! Don't you know I don't want you anymore? Everyone loves making mega trees by placing 4 saplings beside each other. However, jungle saplings in that 2x2 formation cannot grow next to snow. No matter how much bone meal you use, it can't grow if anything is next to it. Even the lightest dusting of snow on the ground. Could you imagine never growing because you're standing next to snow? Snow biomes would have armies of baby zombies running across the land. Oh god, here they come!
Cobwebs aren't just good for making a cave or mine shaft feel extra creepy. They're also good for adding custom smoke to chimneys and for adding a net to a basketball hoop. Most people know you can make a really convincing dead tree with stripped logs and mangrove roots. So instead, try creating a dead warped tree with muddy mangrove roots, dead coral, and hanging roots. Oh yeah, muddy mangrove roots with a candle on top makes a pretty convincing rotten melon if you ever need that for some reason. Rooted dirt finally gave us another dirt block that's not just gonna turn into grass instantly, giving us way more decoration options. One of my favorite ways to use this is to mix rooted and coarse dirt in a pattern like this to make wheel tracks through a forest. Only the richest players can test this myth out. Apparently, nether stars so disappoint when you explode them. It feels so wrong to do this, but let's try it. Hey, it actually works! You can even do it with stacks of them without losing any. I bet you can even put them in item frames and oh no. This works because it would really suck if you killed a wither and the star got blown up by the final skull. But what if you were fighting it near lava? Would you still be safe? Nope. Easiest bust yet. Apparently, armor doesn't actually protect you from potions of harming. Okay, so I take 6 hearts without any armor. Let's try with full diamonds. Yeah, look, 6 hearts as well. Okay, what about with full protection? 4. Now it's just 2 hearts. I guess I may as well just use leather armor now. Myth confirmed. But as it turns out, Mojang might want to brush past some older Minecraft snapshots too. As in an old snapshot, you could actually grow furnaces? By using a command to spawn a pumpkin with an impossible growth phase, a furnace would grow out of the ground underneath it. Shulkers can be super annoying when they hit you with their levitation balls. Trust me, I know. But these balls can actually hit other mobs as well, causing them to fly high into the sky. Who knew their balls were so powerful? Not me. Definitely not me. Everyone knows that if you name a sheep Jeb, it will turn rainbow. But most people don't know is that you can actually name a rabbit Toast to unlock Toast! Okay, not really, but it does have a secret texture. It's a reference to a developer's old pet. And although it's not exactly rainbow, at least this guy has meaning. It's common knowledge that dispensers can't place blocks. But did you know that dispensers are actually able to place blocks if it means they can summon a golem or the wither? Dispensing a carved pumpkin on top of 2 snow blocks will create a snow golem, just as if you place a block there. A pretty cool way to win a bet and scam your friends out of their hand-earned diamond. Or just do it for fun. But come on, who does that? Decoys are the #1 best way to help hide your base. And you can even cover them with traps. Try building this water drop chute somewhere obvious, but add a tripwire halfway down. As soon as it triggers, this piston pushes a block over, leaving the thief in a very unfortunate situation. Another way to create a great decoy is with paintings. If you cover a wall with all sorts of paintings, an intruder is always going to try and just walk on through. However, if you build this setup, you can totally trick them, as a real entrance requires throwing an item in here and being squished through this trapdoor. It's quite sophisticated, just like my art collection. Yes. Witches might seem like one of the most dangerous mobs in the game, but they're actually completely defenseless against ranged attacks. If you want to abuse this the most, try grabbing a crossbow and a power 5 bow and shooting them right after each other. The witch dies instantly. Not so powerful now, are you? Striders obviously feel most comfortable in lava. I mean, you've seen what they look like on land, so predictably, if you go to all the effort to bring one from the nether into the overworld, first of all, you're a monster! But secondly, they'll take damage in water. So if you need an unconventional string farm, you know what to do. Magma cubes are more dangerous than slimes, but they still have the same issue. However, the only danger they'll really face is those big cliffs in the nether, since they're immune to fire damage. You may think they're also weak to water like Striders, but for some reason they just like chilling it. I guess there's no water in the nether, so it kinda makes sense. Did your friends store their enchantment books and ordered chests? Play a trick by replacing some of their high-level books with level 1 books. They all look the same, so they might not even notice until it's already too late. No matter how many chickens your friend clears away, more keep coming with this next trick. Stuff a bunch of chickens above a hopper. The eggs go into a dispenser with a repeater, causing it to shoot the eggs out, spawning a bunch more chickens in the process. Hide this contraption in a tree near your friend's house, and he'll be drowning in chicks. Want to trap your AFK friend in a little box? It's the first trick anyone tries, but if you waterlog the blocks, they become so much harder to break. And when they do, your friend will be drowning in water. Get your minecarts going fast with this high-speed hack, with much less redstone. Minecarts take turns fast, so if you lay your rails out into these circles, the minecarts will turn constantly, gaining super fast, and still in a straight line. Just close your eyes while it's happening. This quick and easy hack lets you build an iron farm really fast and really early in the game. All you need is an iron golem spawning platform that's very small and a campfire at the top, leaving no room for the golem to walk away from it, taking damage and dropping all of its precious irons. There was actually a secret red dragon that almost made it into the game. The plans were dropped in 2014, but Mojang have said that if they ever brought it back, it would come from the rarest item in the game, the dragon egg. This lava is trapped! The pressure plate technically fills that space with stone, so the lava can't flow into it. Use it as a decoration in your house? It's totally safe, until someone decides to break it. This secret is one you've seen and never even noticed. The title screen Minecraft has a 10,000 to 1 chance of changing the spelling to Minecraft. Circles are illegal in Minecraft, but with command blocks you can make one with an armor stand that rotates. This spawns stands as it rotates, with sand blocks on their head. Use a command to face the center stand and make the stands invisible for a perfect circle. This version of Minecraft was haunted! The Elder Guardian ghost was added in Pocket Edition 1.11 and looks identical to the Elder Guardian, except for a semi-transparent tail. That said, their behavior wasn't scary in the slightest, since all it did was look at you and slowly sink to the seafloor. Ha! Sucker! Can't catch me! These secret hybrid biomes have never been used in Minecraft. The deep warm ocean biome is the deep ocean and warm ocean mixed together, getting the aspects of both, including getting ocean monuments, so you could enjoy warm water vegetation while getting absolutely wrecked by guardians. Ever wanted to play Minecraft in Minecraft? That takes too much redstone, but this hack looks great. Make a desk with a pressure plate on top with a painting behind it, blocking off the sides so it stays small, and put a button on the side to look like a mouse. Put a chair in front and you'll look like you're actually gaming. Hey wait, they're cheating! Bunch of hackers! This sucks, Dad! Everyone knows armor stands are entities, but did you know they're actually alive? They have HP and get damaged, and if you put it by a wither rose, it will eventually die. Plus, just like other living creatures, it will set off skulk catalysts, spreading skulk blocks all around. Does this mean the armor stand has a soul? Is it watching me in my sleep, waiting for its moment to strike? Ah, get away from me!
Using shears to collect leaves? Big mistake! You could instead use a hoe, as more modern updates of the game have improved the hoe. And with enchantments like Fortune, you can get way more items, way faster. Path blocks, they look great in a lot of spaces, but they're slightly shorter than the average block. If there's any empty space next to a path block, even if another block is on top trying to hide it, the gap will still be there. Look at it, you can see right through that. Piston door lag! It's a big mistake that happens all the time. Pistons pushing blocks out of the way looks all fancy, but takes precious time when you're trying to get through. Put the pressure plate a few blocks back so you don't smash your face on an automatic door or secret entrance. A major mistake when making an enchantment table is forgetting to bring the right items. Make sure any lapis or books are nearby in chests so you don't have to remember at all. Speaking of storage, what on earth is this? Nothing is sorted, it's all just thrown together any which way. Set aside different chests to hold different things. Want tools? Make a tool chest so you know where all your tools are. In fact, stop using chests entirely. They're old and dumb and stupid. Well, alright, they look okay. But barrels carry the same amount, cost less to make, and can actually be opened even when another block is on top of it.
Why we did not have cars in Minecraft is completely beyond me. They would be by far the best method of transportation in the game. However, regardless of them not existing in the world of Minecraft, you can still bring your world to life with these car builds. Now, which one is the fastest? Oh, I cannot wait for summer. I wish it could be summer all year round because I love barbecue food. But thanks to Minecraft, I can experience the brilliance of barbecue all year round by building this amazing looking grill. It smells delicious. I'm so sorry. It takes 2.5 minutes for your hunger to run out once you start sprinting. But what if I told you that you could run forever? All you have to do is hit an entity after you start sprinting and your hunger will never run out. Why did Mojang patch this? I'm gonna show you a magic trick by making all of these mobs disappear. Unfortunately, this magic was a lie, just like when my mom said she loves me. Anyways, you can do the exact same thing by propelling yourself into the sky with elytra and fireworks. The best part is that this works in every single dimension, including the nether. Back in my day, whenever people built a cash register in Minecraft, all they used was a single stair. However, build hacks have truly grown throughout Minecraft's lifespan, and now we have cash registers that actually look real. By using a chest Minecraft and a stair, you can make a cash register that actually opens. It just is not very secure. Hey, bring them back, you thief! Mojang refuses to add crocodiles to Minecraft, and who can blame them? These terrifying reptiles would make the game quite a bit scarier. However, thanks to this next build hack, you can create a realistic looking crocodile within your vanilla playthrough. By using dark prismarine and a banner, you can create this adorable yet terrifying creature from the sea. Just make sure you're always out of his reach. Look at all this XP I'm getting from doing nothing. This is because the piglins are angry at me, and when they die, regardless of how they die, they'll give me XP. I like to lure them into this lava trap. I don't even have to lift a finger to kill them. Now I can relax and not pay attention at all. My favorite build hack to use the debug stick for, though, is to just add a little more interest to my creative builds. You can turn this strange and boring bamboo farm into something cool looking by connecting the fence and adding leaves to the bamboo. It's literally magic. Beehives kind of look like empty storage containers, so you can use them for extra decoration in a cluttered storage room or attic. They also work great as drawers or a bedside table. You can make any English letter in a 4x3 space using different combinations of slabs and stairs. This chart by Cookie Dough Bread shows you exactly to spell out anything you want super easily. There are tons of ways to add tiny details to your builds in Minecraft, but one of my favorites is this method of making footprints. Just chuck some invisible item frames down and then place some stake in them. All of a sudden, you've got some weirdly convincing looking footsteps. One of the oldest myths in Minecraft is that sugar canes grow faster on sand, so I'm here to finally solve this debate. I've placed 25 sugar cane on every type of sand and dirt, and when I type this command, we'll be able to see exactly which group grows fastest. And see, they all grow at pretty much the same exact speed. It's just random. It doesn't even change if you grow it on cobblestone or something, even though it does look super cursed. Consider Consider that myth ultra busted. Look, we all know how strong the warden is, but I've heard it's so strong that he doesn't even take damage from fire. Okay, lava doesn't damage him, and neither does regular fire. What about fire enchantments? Yeah, it doesn't affect him at all. I guess it would be kind of easy if you could just dump lava on him and run away. Myth confirmed. And apparently, wardens have so much health they can survive a drop from the very top of the world all the way down to bedrock. So let's test it. Yeah, it survives. It turns out you'd have to drop the warden exactly 504 blocks to instantly kill it, which is literally impossible in a normal world. This thing is so powerful. Did you know in recent Minecraft versions you can actually clutch without any items? All you need to do is hit crouch and space just before landing, and voila! I'm alive! One thing only pros know is if you push yourself into the end portal from underneath with a piston, you won't spawn on the main end island, and instead will spawn at your overworld coordinates in the end, which can make tons of super deadly traps. Soul Sand already slows your player down a ton, but adding ice below will make you move even slower. But there's a way to be even slower. Cobwebs! You now have the slowest floor known to man. But if you're fast enough, you can actually use a bow and arrow to break minecarts and boats to troll your friends. Just make sure you got good aim, or you might just pull a JF Kennedy. And while we're at it, did you know evokers can turn blue-dyed sheep into red-dyed sheep? Yeah, pretty wild. Who knew they hated blue? Remember back in the old days of the game when the best traps just involved placing gravel above signs? Well, these got 1,000 times better with scaffolding. Now, instead of spending ages placing signs perfectly, you can just place a layer of scaffolding hooked up to a piston, stick some carpets above it, and as soon as it's triggered, it'll plunge any players and their loot directly into this pit of lava. The most difficult part of creating a secret base is trying to hide the entrance, so try this idea out. Build a regular wheat or potato farm above wherever you want your base to be. Then break a block behind a crop like this and hide a button in there. Not only is this almost impossible to see, but nobody will ever suspect this lovely little farm being the place you hide all your valuable gear. Both rabbits and foxes are also scared of wolves and will be hunted down if they go anywhere near a pack of them. The scariest part is that the wolves don't even eat the meat the animals drop, meaning they only hunt for the fun of it. Now do you understand why I hate them? Oh yeah, and rabbits are also scared of cats and players too. Bats are easily the least dangerous mob in the game. These things are so stupid. In fact, that's actually their weakness. Bats are so dumb that sometimes when they're flying around a cave, they'll fly straight into a pool of lava. I get why they don't even drop XP now. Silverfish take the term strength in numbers to the next level. On their own, they're harmless, but if you're trapped in a room with 15 of them, they get a little scarier. However, if you have a weapon strong enough to kill them in one hit, they won't call in support. Lava doesn't burn scaffolding, so try this trick on a friend trying to break your stuff. Put scaffolding in your house that looks like you use it as a ladder. At the top, put some lava and hide it from view. If your friend wants to be mean and break your scaffold, they'll be greeted with a face full of lava. This next evil trick is quick and easy. Wait at the top of a bubble stream shaft. Shoot a bunch of arrows of harming into the top. And when your friend gets to the top, they'll get hit and maybe even die. This naughty little trick is also really simple. If your friend boasts about their log cabin, go around their house, stripping a block here and there at random. It will look dreadful. Campfires can look great in your home, but not if it smokes up the place. This hack removes the smoke completely. Just put 2 layers of string on top and the smoke stops. Filling a swimming pool with buckets of water can take way too long. So try this speedy hack instead. Stack ice blocks along 2 edges with a gap between, and then break them down at speed with a pickaxe. The water will spill out in such a way that the whole pool gets filled like magic. Behold, the mighty villager on his chicken steed! To get this secret villager, you have to find a baby villager riding a chicken. If you cure that baby, it will eventually grow up and become an adult villager on a chicken that works just like a normal villager. But you can attach a lead or lure them around with seeds. Most shulkers are easy to spot, but if you use the summon command, the shulker will be dyed a different color. They now look just like a dyed shulker box instead. You could replace your friend's box with one to freak them out when they try to get their stuff. This zombie is completely brain dead. That's because in this 1.9 snapshot, zombies spawn with the no AI tag set to 1, meaning nothing was going on inside their heads. Weird stuff started happening too, like sometimes they would float off in the air. Have you seen a pyramid in Minecraft? No, not that one. These mysterious pyramids used to dot the landscape far away from the player and were completely solid. That's right, no rooms or even a secret base here, just bricks all the way through. This is because back in the day there was no way to actually craft bricks, so Mojang just dropped piles of bricks around the world like it was a construction site. This potion is stinky! This one is suave, and this one is really milky. Potions used to have 32 different varieties, with different effects and colors, way back in beta 1.9.
pre-release too. Some of them had really bizarre names too. How can a potion be debonair? Let me test it with a taste. Ah! Oh, it's happening! I'm becoming debonair! Well, hello there. Have you ever seen amazing graffiti and wanted it in your world? I made this amazing graffiti using concrete powder placed in the wall, and the spray cans are colored candles to match the colors on the wall. Wait a minute, I didn't make this graffiti. Hey, you damn kids, get away from my house! Standing next to lava is safe as long as you don't fall in, right? Wrong! If you're next to lava when standing on soul sand or mud, it's lethal. How did I get on fire? Mud is wet! Fix your game, Mojang! We all love adorable little ocelots. However, Minecraft thinks they're violent monsters. They're considered hostile, so in peaceful mode, they're not allowed to spawn. I think that's crazy. These adorable little kitties wouldn't hurt a fly. Right, Mittens? Oh god, Mittens got into the chicken coop! Don't trust these iron golems. One wrong move and they'll slap you silly. Instead, make one that will never turn on you, using anvils, a cauldron, a dispenser for a face, some stone fencing, and wood fencing for a wicked axe. Those iron golems wish they could have a sick axe. Those ugly beasts. Wait, I was kidding! Unfortunately, you can only get invisible item frames in creative, but there's sort of a solution in survival. If you place a block in an item frame on the floor, a snow layer will fully cover up the item frame but leave the block exposed, allowing you to, I don't know, make pebbles or something? You know how to make a bird cage? How about an aquarium? This one's actually even easier, but probably just as cruel. All you have to do is surround a chest with trapdoors, place a glass block on top, then waterlog the chest with a bucket of fish, and boom! You've trapped him forever. Sorry, fishy. But when you've got this many nether stars, what do you even use them for? You obviously don't need this many beacons. Well, this myth says that if you use a nether star and a beacon instead of iron or emeralds, you'll actually receive double the effects. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to work, but come on, Mojang, you may as well add this for the people that are insane enough to use netherite to power their beacons. They deserve something! Even though it's easily the scariest biome in the game, it's said that mobs won't spawn in the deep dark at all. I spent about 5 minutes flying around here and I didn't see any, so I'll just call this confirmed. Obviously, there's still one mob that can spawn here, but you can even totally disable this as well with this command. Suddenly, this place isn't so scary. And if red isn't your favorite color, harming potions are super useful for taking out those dreaded mobs or enemies. But when it comes to zombies, these potions actually heal them. I suppose they're dead anyway. So if you want to kill a zombie, throw a healing potion at them to damage them instead. Nice attention to detail, Mojang. Turns out locking is easier than you think. And you can add a glass pane to a map to lock it, meaning it won't update if anything changes. This can be great for documenting the progress of your base over time, or creating a permanent design of an upside-down T. If you bring bottles with you to the end fight, you can actually pick up the purple particles the dragon shoots at you. These are called potions of dragon's breath, and can be used to craft tipped arrows or lingering potions. I just wish you'd brushed first. All these methods are quite expensive though. If you want the cheapest possible way to protect your base, try literally just placing boats all the way around it. When it turns nighttime, any mobs that try to attack will get stuck in them and serve as a defense against players. Another super cheap method of defense is to just wire up a super annoying noise to start playing as soon as someone enters. When this door is opened, an observer gets pushed over here and triggers all these blocks over and over, creating a circuit that will drive a thief crazy and even work as a perfect alarm system. But sometimes players aren't just trying to steal your loot, they're out for blood. So an alarm system just won't cut it. To truly fortify your base, try building your base using stairs placed like this. If you fill them with water, it won't spill everywhere, and it makes your entire base completely resistant to TNT, stopping raiders and creepers in their tracks. And if you want to take this to the next level, try placing a line of observers below the outside blocks hooked up to TNT. These will trigger as soon as the stairs are broken, blowing the raiders up instantly while your base sits there totally unharmed. Turrets are actually a super useful thing to have around as they warn you of nearby enemies and don't get attacked by mobs. They are, however, deathly allergic to cookies, and feeding one to a parrot will kill it instantly. This is actually because in real life, parrots are allergic to chocolate, so keep that in mind, I guess. You probably already know that villagers are super weak to zombies. They don't even try to fight back. However, did you know that they're even more scared of pillagers? In fact, in a raid, villagers will actually start to sweat because they're so scared. Thank God they have a hero like me to protect them! Your friend keeps cutting down your favorite tree? Get revenge with this new trick. Hide anvils in the trunk among the leaves. If someone cuts through enough of the tree, the anvil will fall right on top of them. This silky little trick is great if your friend has a fear of spiders. Fill their house with cobwebs, making them slowly trudge through their own home. Then put a single spider in their bedroom to attack. When they complain, just blame the spider. Dripstone can drop and do real damage. So why not use this hack to make a fun defense for your castle? Bounce the dripstone off these slime blocks and pistons, and the stone will be launched out toward any incoming players storming your fort. Powdered snow is technically a full block, but you can actually pass through it with this weird hack. It turns out you can fly through it with elytra, passing through to the other side without losing any speed. So why not use it as a secret wall or entrance? Ice and water travel systems for your items can end up with traffic jams, especially the corners. So use this build hack to make your
system perfecto. Put 2 sea pickles at the corner and they will guide the items around the corners, sticking to the edge of the tunnel, straight to their destination. The fastest way to get home is with an ender pearl stasis chamber. It's a fun technique where a pearl is kept hovering in a bubble elevator. If you connect it to a daylight sensor, when night comes, the bubble stream stops, and the pearl lands, teleporting you back home. This is a miracle. End portal frames have a 10% chance of spawning already filled with an eye. Having all of them filled only happens 1 in a trillion times. Did you know about Minecraft's secret F commands? Everyone knows about pressing F for all that info. But did you know about F3 plus B that shows everyone's hitboxes? What happens if I press F3 plus C? Most of us know now that you can make a bird cage by simply just pushing some glass on top of a parrot. But come on, doesn't that feel cruel? Instead, give them some room to breathe with a hanging scaffolding cage like this. And to make sure our little friend is as happy as can be, try making this advanced bird bath. Place an armor stand with a helmet on top of 3 layers of snow. Then push a floor block and the wall down from above and finish with a slab and some signs. A netherite helmet might work better for some designs, but that's expensive. I think I'll just stick to leather. The most illegal item in all of vanilla Minecraft has to be the debug stick. You can only get it with commands, but it lets you do all sorts of crazy, weird things that literally feel like hacks. You can make strange beds with no pillows, white grass, cursed flower bushes, and even floating water. And pow! I'm outside your window. But what if I told you this myth says cats are even more powerful? Sure, they only have literally 2% of the warden's health, but they have a special secret. No matter how far you drop them from, they won't take any damage. Apparently, this is because in real life, cats can literally fall from 200 feet up and survive. It's so much better than a dog. Hey! I didn't kill it. I'm still keeping my promise. But what about us? For some reason, landing in just an inch of water is enough to completely survive any fall. So I mean, a watermelon is mostly water. Surely that can save me, right?
Yeah, no.
But berry bushes can.
Right.
The only other place in the entire game that mobs can't spawn is actually an ocean temple. It's true. The game is coded so that only guardians can spawn in them, meaning that if you remove all the water, absolutely no mobs will spawn nearby. You're gonna need a lot of sponges or a massive machine, but at the end you're left with a pre-built mob-free paradise. But if you'd rather not do all that work, there are ways to completely mob-proof your base easily. Not only do slabs basically double the amount of blocks you have for floors and roofs, but mobs can't spawn on bottom slabs, meaning even if your house is pitch black, nothing will be able to spawn inside. You could even add soul sand below and use soul speed to run around your house super quickly. Slimes are the only mob you can kill with just a single punch, but the bigger versions are a little stronger. Luckily, slimes have terrible pathfinding and won't avoid things like lava, cactus, or big holes like this, making them easier to trap than any other mob. Sea turtles might have the most enemies in the game. Not only do all types of zombies try to break their eggs, but skeletons, ocelots, wolves, stray cats, and even zoglins will attack baby sea turtles. I don't know what they did to make so many enemies. They're so cute. This trick makes it look like a regular mining tunnel, but there's a secret. If you place redstone ore into the floor and connect that to a hidden observer, this ore becomes a trap trigger. Hide some TNT under that, and your friend won't know what hit him. This trick is so murky, I can barely even see. This is because you can hide campfires underneath your friend's flooring, and the smoke will float up through. Put as many as you can, and they'll have to tear up their house just to get rid of them. This quick hack lets you harvest an entire field in an instant. Plants need a certain light level, so if you have a redstone lantern to provide that, then switch it off when it's time to harvest, all the veg will burst out at once, ready to be picked up or collected in hoppers under the soil. This hack is a fresh twist on a classic. Paintings can be used to hide entrances, but that can be too obvious. Instead, hide a pressure plate behind it that activates when you drop an item through the painting, activating whatever secret mechanism you want to set up. Duplicate end portals endlessly with this trick. You need to make a world in 1.19 Java Edition, and then update it to 1.20. If you place an end block tower on the exit portal, once you kill the dragon or place an ender crystal, a duplicate end portal will be spawned. Back in 1.14, you can apply multiple different protections on the same armor piece. Stack all sorts of protections to create the ultimate armor, and then update your game so you can have an illegally strong outfit. This weird villager secret can give infinite emeralds. When you cure a zombie villager, any trade you do with them will have a discount. If you cure them multiple times, it will keep going down, and you can end up with weird prices, like getting 3 books for 2 emeralds, which you can sell back 3 books for 3 emeralds, getting you a 1 emerald profit. The inside of a mangrove log looks suspiciously like a nice piece of juicy meat. Moving on. Using some lightning rods, armor stands, and a campfire, you can make a super tasty looking hog roast. And if you think this flame is too big, you can place an armor stand and lava underneath for a much tamer flame. If you've ever tried to use crops like wheat as decoration, you've probably run into this problem. However, this illegal build hack will fix that. Water can actually hydrate dirt across thin air, letting you make things like these garden pots without visible water. Try using an upside down lightning rod with a candle placed on top to make a weirdly tall torch. It won't be quite as bright, height, but hey, you can stand on the edge of the rod for some reason. If you want something even less suspicious, try breaking a hole beneath a lava pool and placing some water like this, and building your base down here. Lava pools are totally natural and nobody ever touches them on a server, making them the perfect place to slip into, even if it is a little painful. Snow golems aren't the only mob that doesn't like the rain though. Pandas are actually terrified of thunderstorms, and they don't just take damage in the rain. They hide their face and whimper as though they're actually scared. Also, did you know pandas eat cake? That's not a weakness or anything, I just thought it was cool. Ah, no! Ocelots seem more adapted to the tough jungle environment, as they've learned to avoid fall damage and to hunt chickens for food. However, they are still terrified of humans and run away faster than almost any mob in the game. It's worth it if you can get an ocelot or cat to stick around though, as they're actually super good at keeping away phantoms. In fact, a phantom won't come within 16 blocks of a cat at all. But if you want to avoid phantoms altogether, just make sure you get a good night's rest. Fungus is your friend with this next trick you can play on your friends while they're away. Dig under their home, plant a bunch of mushrooms, and add a little bit of bone meal. The mushrooms will grow massive, cutting through your friend's house and deleting anything in its path. Give them a fungal infestation. This trick is sneaky. If your friend lives near a forest, slowly plant more and more trees closer and closer to their house. They'll think it's just a forest growing as it eventually surrounds their house. Keep planting trees in every block you find until they're in a thick, never-ending jungle. If you replace the leaves of a tree with some of your own you've snipped, those leaves will stay even if your friend breaks the wood blocks away, leaving these floating leaf islands that your friend will want to clean up to get them out of the way. This super high IQ hack lets you farm mobs in the nether. Most mob farms use water to funnel the mobs into a drop that kills them, but you can't do that in the nether. So instead, use gas in Minecraft. Their big hitbox pushes other mobs to the edges, where you can put a drop down to their doom. It can be great to make a village of your own, complete with villagers, but you need this hack to protect them from invaders. Fill a dispenser with armor and use it to launch the set into a villager. The village will actually use the armor, a perfect defense for your peaceful town. Ride any creature you want. The ride commands lets you or anything you want ride on top of any other creature, such as this bee, so I can fly without even needing a elytra. Get a whole squad of bees and play fly to the bumblebees as you descend upon your enemies. Ever wanted to feel what it's like to be a shulker? Crawl down into a 1-block space with a shulker block underneath you. When you open the box, then close it again, you'll end up inside the box. Let me out! This killer rabbit is extinct. Back during version 1.8, there was a very rare chance that the killer bunny would spawn and attack the player. You could still breed the bunny and create more killers too. The model even had blood on its mouth in some versions. This secret trick to survive anything without any items. There's a million ways to avoid damage using special blocks, armor, or potions. But if you have nothing, exit the game just before you take damage. In LAN or single-player games, when you load back in, the damage is ignored. Waterlogged blocks completely break the game. Lily pads can be placed on any block that's waterlogged, creating illegal-looking setups like this. But you can make it look even weirder by placing sugarcane next to the lily pads. Another build hack is this weird new flower. Because this thing is 2 blocks tall when it's fully grown, you can put string above it to keep it at its 3rd stage, and use it to look like a weird, overgrown potato in your farms. A lot of the time, the builds you make look like they've been thrown into the world randomly and look super out of place. To fix this, try making shadows by placing slightly darker blocks near overhangs or edges. You can even add mossy blocks around trees to act as fallen leaves. Somehow, bees are even cuter, which is why no mobs in the game try to attack it. However, if they try and pollinate wither roses, they'll take damage just the same as mobs that walk over it. They'll also die after stinging anything that attacks the hive. Here's a trick to play on AFK players. Why not build a maze around them? In fact, why not make the walls out of falling lava for some extra spice? Get real dangerous with this deadly portal trick. Just drop some activated TNT into an end portal, but don't go in yourself. The TNT will only explode in the end when someone is there. So wait for your friend to go in first. Or the TNT you drop there will explode at the same time, sending your friend sky high! This secret little trick makes it look like this hole is full of water, but the water is actually only a block deep. Using pistons and slime blocks, you can create a floating block of water that doesn't fall. Once your friend swims down through it, it's a straight drop to their death. Sometimes smart hacks use the weirdest items, like this stairway of dripstone and smaller cake slicers. Use a horse which can travel over a single block height without jumping, and the weird hitboxes of the items will send you rocketing up the stairway at high speeds. Tired of creatures jumping fences? Try this hack where you set down a bunch of trapdoors and flip them up. They'll act as fences that the AI just can't understand and won't be able to escape from. Here's Johnny, the murderous vindicator, and here he is in this weird hack, killing these animals for our food. See, when you tag a vindicator with the name Johnny, he will kill anything in sight. And if you trap him in a mob farm, the animals he kills drop their loot into the chest without you having to lift a finger. All types of fish will start to drown after just 15 seconds on land. Weirdly though, they don't even try to get back into water. They just kind of flop around and wait for it to be over. Dolphins, however, can last over 2 minutes on land, and if it's raining, they can survive forever. However, dolphins do need air to survive, so if they're underwater for too long, they'll actually start to drown. At least they try to find water. Squids literally just sit there and move like that. Endermites used to have a huge weakness that nobody knows about. Before 1.15, if they stood on salt sand, they'd suffocate and die. This was eventually fixed, so now their only predator is Enderman. Snow golems aren't exactly the strongest defense your base can have. Their attacks don't even do damage, and they're made even worse by the fact that they can't even survive in warm climates like deserts or in the rain. They also only have 2 hearts of health. I'll stick to iron golems if I were you.